The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Open the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you. None like you. Into the darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. Into the darkness you shine.
Oh Lord,
out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. None like you. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Hey, 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 hey. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against?
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God.
Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Come on, everybody, get your feet happy. Let's go. Come on. Where my islanders? Can some of y'all run down here to the front real quick? I gotta know who's in the building. Where my islanders? I need y'all to run down here. Come on, let me see ya.
Jehovah, you
Say it.
I trust
In you.
in you.
There you are.
Oh Lord, Jehovah, you
I trust. Say it.
I trust
Show me how to do it, y'all.
in you.
I believe. Say it. Say it.
I believe you.
I trust.
I trust
Come on.
in you.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord, Jehovah, you
Where y'all at? Come on. Come on.
I trust in you.
I believe. Say it.
I believe
You are the God of miracles.
you are the God of miracles.
You are the God of wonder.
You are the God of wonder.
You are the God of
You
powerful.
are the God of power.
I believe. Say it.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
Say it, y'all.
I believe. I believe.
Come on. Let's bang, bang, bang. Somebody make some noise in here.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
I trust
In you.
in you.
Oh Lord. Say it.
Go ahead, Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Of course, a pleasant good morning to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web, a pleasant good day to you. Yes, this is of course, the Tuesday edition of the Ground Report for the month of February. Yes, we are already in the month of February, but I heard someone said when, of course, January appeared to be protracted and taking long to say. They said, of course, I think it was around the 15th or the 16th of that month, last month, when they said, well, listen, around this time last year, it would have been April already. That is to tell you the extent to which and the anxiety that was built in to, of course, getting rid or putting January to one's back. I suppose it's because of the hardship that would have been experienced as a consequence of the lavishness that one would have, of course, expended or directed or focused on December. December being, of course, both Christmas and then, of course, into the New Year's, and everybody, of course, would have been spending money. And more importantly, I suppose, in the context of Trinidad and Tobago, that they anticipate, of course, Carnival, and therefore probably for some, getting rid of January certainly, of course, means the ushering of Carnival, which, of course, will ease all of the tensions, financial, economic, social, political, and all of the other nuances that is part and parcel of life, modern life in contemporary Trinidad and Tobago. That being as it may, once again, of course, Andy will be with us a little later, of course, or of course in between. You heard him just now. So he is, of course, still recuperating, but committed and dedicated to the cause, and that is to say, to make certain that the imbroglio, the catastrophe, the faux pas, the maladministration, the criminal behavior of those in high office is, of course, arrested permanently, preferably when the protracted delay of the inevitable 2025 election is called, because clearly the PNM has imploded. It's no longer imploding. They have imploded, of course, the issue of the specter that, of course, George Young will be Prime Minister. Worse yet, um, uh, possibility of being the leader of the PNM, which of course that possibility is a very tenuous one. It is almost an impossibility. But if Dr. Rowley would have had his way to manipulate, as we have seen happening, because why else would you want to hold on to the leadership and not resign it simultaneously with that of the prime ministership, and hold on to, of course, leadership until September, a whole month after the formal, or should I say legal, perusal or peruging of the parliament. Perug of the parliament. Perusal, of course, means to read, but of course, perug means, of course, to terminate, and you wait for the other occasion. In other words, the signal, of course, that the end of a particular 5-year period. That what that proroguing is all about, as opposed, of course, to the adjournment of Parliament, as the case may be. But no Parliament could convene unless, of course, there would have been an electoral process take place, a winner, of course, emerge, and so a new government, in a real sense, is now instituted, and the whole process continues with the president and all of the other creations of the cabinet, and of course portfolios, and possibly new faces, as the case may be. I thought I should give, of course, a synopsis as to what is happening. So on the one hand, we have, of course, a government that clearly is reluctant to call the elections, even though, of course, the country is on autopilot, so to speak. In other words, it is in a shambolic state, is a chaotic state. And of course, the recent iteration of that reality is now expressed, of course, in what is unfolding within the police service as we speak. And I want to say, of course, yesterday, if there was a definition of incompetence, if there was a definition of chaos, if there was a definition of stupidity, if there was a definition of the inability, of course, to rationalize or to explain it to the public, I think, of course, the definition would have been, and anybody with a modicum of understanding of what all of these terms are, well, one could only, of course, refer to the press conference that was held by the police service yesterday, because, I mean, here it is, the main actor first and foremost, the main character in the entire incident, or the imbroglio that is now unfolding, was not at the press conference. Deputy Commissioner Suzette Martin was not there, and clearly it was orchestrated, because they must have known that one of the questions that would have been asked about the situation, as far as the arrest or the detention or the interrogation of Earl Christopher, the still legal, of course, commissioner of police. There is nothing has changed there. Possibly until tomorrow in the Parliament, when, of course, the recommendation of the Police Service Commission will be debated, and, of course, a decision made. But certainly, one would of necessity not see how the Suzette Martin could not be at that particular press conference, having regard, of course, to her very elaborate statement on the previous one, indicating in details what transpired as far as the detention of the sitting and substantive commissioner of police is concerned. And therefore, one could only reference that it would have been, of course, a clear orchestration and deliberate by the police service to avoid, or possibly one could take the liberty to say protect someone who has been at the center of this entire debacle or controversy. I say debacle from the point of view that while, of course, if things had turned out the way how they told us, it means that we wouldn't have these questions that we are now confronted with. What would have happened is that she barely would have said, well, all right, the next stage is so and so and so. But what has happened is that all what they told us on the last occasion turned out to be zero. It was a typical anticlimax in the sense that the DPP said in all certain terms there is no grounds to detain the woman or charge her, and therefore release both of them, both Bess and, of course, Earl Christopher. So therefore the police, the decision makers, the leadership had a duty and responsibility, including, of course, Suzette Martin, to be at that press conference so that the public, through the media interrogation and the, of course, hosting of that press conference. After all, what you host the press conference for? If, of course, the major player is not there, and I say major player from the point of view that nobody knows who initiated the investigation. In fact, the most queer and, of course, what I consider to be asinine statement that was made and in answering that question was referred to the same Suzette Martin when the question was asked who initiated and gave instructions to, of course, detain the Commissioner of Police. Benjamin will simply say that you will have to ask the person, the II, the person responsible for investigation, the Deputy Commissioner of Police responsible for investigation and intelligence, Suzette Martin, who was not present and is as if, of course, trying to toy or trying to play smart with foolishness by, of course, telling us that, knowing full well that she was not at the press conference. And it's clear that one has to conclude that it was deliberate. But I want to also, of course, share with you the fact that yesterday we ventilated this matter almost exhaustively, even though, of course, more information has come from yesterday that suggests that it is clearly inexhaustive. And therefore, when we spoke about, of course, the role of Suzette Martin, and we focused there, and of course, the fact that they try to insulate or put another way, isolate or put another way, sort of make certain that the political directorate is not involved. And we have said that clearly they are, Suzette Martin in particular, having regard to the fact that we learned that she's from Tobago and therefore was involved, of course, in the decision to kidnap, according to the courts, Brent Thomas. And clearly, those activities that were taking place in Tobago, hounding down and harassing, of course, according, of course, to the authorities in Tobago, the new authorities, headed by, of course, Fali, that they were engaged, of course, in looking, for example, for audio tape, and of course, and deploying a lot of expensive police time to, of course, a matter that really and truly it turns out, and anybody with a modicum of common sense, to be a storm in a teacup. And I think, and of course, while, of course, you cannot have you do not have a direct link with respect, of course, to the presence of the licensing officers there, engaging, of course, or pulling up the rear as far as the harassment of the Tobago residents and citizens are concerned. But clearly, you can see the nexus, you can see the connection. So to this particular woman, who is supposed to be, of course, the deputy commissioner responsible for investigation and intelligence, and her role in all of these matters, and therefore one would have expected, out of necessity, out of not just an abundance of caution, but to level with the population, that Suzette Martin ought to have been at that particular exercise. But I suppose they would have listened to the ground report yesterday clearly, And what we saw as the opening salvo in that press conference was Benjamin, of course, defending, which of course we highlighted yesterday. So I don't know if others would have highlighted it as well in terms of that social media clip that was circulating, indicating that, of course, he had said some time ago that he wants to be the commissioner of police, and therefore the question of whether or not it was self-actualization or manifesting by, of course, engaging in activities to get rid of the titular or the existing or the substantial police commissioner, so that he could, of course, replace her. That was a fair question yesterday, but he answered it, of course, on his own volition. Nobody asked him, but he thought he should open, of course, the entire exercise, clearing up that particular matter. And what he said, well, he said that, yes, he said it, one. So that is good. At least he did better than Rowley and Churchill, and they never confessed without being, of course, probed or evidence so overwhelming that they would have, of course, to concede. But on this occasion, I think he did well by saying, yes, I did, of course, was on a pulpit, and I was showing, of course, that people can, of course, be plan their future, plan their. Those are my words. I'm paraphrasing here, and of course, speak to what they would like to be, and it would actualize. But of course, actualization doesn't come by just speaking. Actualization comes by action, right? Having spoken. And of course, the application of gray matter as well, or a strategy, in other words, in order to achieve that objective. He did, of course, put in those nuances and those necessary, what I consider to be building blocks, to make certain that, of course, what you would like to be, whether it be a lawyer, whether it be, of course, a commissioner of police, or whether it be a police officer for that matter, or whether it be a mechanic, or whether it be a teacher, etc., that there are certain building blocks to that. You cannot just say it and it would materialize. You'll have to take certain action based, of course, on strategizing, which would mean, of course, the application of brain matter. And of course, the question naturally would have occurred that, of course, he would have been the major beneficiary of the demise, if you want to call it that, of Earl Christopher, and of course, he remained silent on that matter in the main, and he did not, of course, he did not respond to that, except, of course, to use the terms like, of course, the police office. The police will do their work without favor, and with, of course, with integrity, and do so, of course, based on what they have a responsibility or have taken an oath to do. And of course, he repeated the oath all the time. He repeated the oath until on one occasion, of course, he was asked, well, all right, if that is the case, and you obviously did not achieve your objective based on what you told us on the last occasion, Earl Christopher has been released by the DPP's instructions. What will now happen, or what is his thoughts on the fact that an avalanche of civil action, yes, will be taken against the police, legal action against the police in the civil realm, and of course, thousands or millions of dollars may well be have to be forked out by the citizens or the taxpayers of this country. Well, of course, he gave us the oath that he responded with the oath that he took. But then, of course, the journalist, I think, was very good in terms of his script. He then said, well, listen, you cannot, of course, use that as evidence in court. And then, of course, he couldn't respond, and he started to laugh. And then, of course, I think the monitor of the exercise intervened, and of course, stopped the questioning time, and said that would have been the last question. So all of this has taken place in a matter of 2 or 3 days. But there are other issues that we have to, of course, which we did know yesterday, that we have to address as well. Now, let me say this: we are no way lured in any form or fashion by the notion that this is a diversion. We are conscious of the opportunistic nature for a diversion. So it will not, of course, take away the fact that we know an election has to be. We know that the PNM and the Dr. Rowley are toxic. They are the existential threat to Trinidad and Tobago. We know of the destruction of the economy of Trinidad and Tobago by this group of individuals. And we know now that, of course, confirmed by Stuart Young, that Jamaica is now, of course, exporting energy products to Trinidad and Tobago, mainly, of course, bunker fuel for ships and so on, according to him, for sale by Paria. But of course, he failed to tell us, for example, and tried to, of course, dismiss the closing of Petrotrin, and the oil refinery in particular, mothballing it even as we speak. It's no big deal. And that to me is very dangerous, that they would see an obvious disadvantage, destruction, limitation of the acquisition of foreign exchange. And there's quite a part totally oblivious to the fact that, of course, Imbert, the Minister of Finance, told us subsequently, in spite of Rowley's position, in spite of Stuart Young's position, and incidentally, you could consider it, of course, to be a twin position. But Imbert told us, when they were attempting originally to sell the oil refinery, that, of course, the oil refinery was in fact a net foreign exchange earner. Let me repeat. Imbert told us that the oil refinery was in fact a net earner of foreign exchange. And he explained, he said, in spite of the 100,000 barrels of oil that Rowley and George Young have confirmed imported for the purposes of refining, in spite of that, contrary to what Young and Rowley told us, that it was losing money, $7 to $10 on a barrel when it is refined, Imbert said after all of that, and the products would have been produced, and we have a built-in market for guaranteed, of course, a sale through CARICOM, the oil refinery was making money, foreign exchange, and a net earner of foreign exchange. Very simple. Net earner, not grosser, net earner, meaning that after all the expense, what you are left with is your net, and that is your real profit. And that is what Imbert told us. Imbert told us that. And well, of course, it's a ground report, and we will not stop there. Well, all right. Who is correct? Clearly. Well, it was, of course, Gary Aboud, the friends and fisherman man, told us in all certain terms and gave us the proof that under the Freedom of Information Act, he sent, of course, for that information, and it revealed that in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, except 2018, the Treasury never gave Petrotrin a cent. And the only time it did was in 2018 when, of course, they decided to close it down mysteriously, contrary to all of the reports, 3 reports, very expensive reports, as far as the restructuring is concerned, and to get it back to cover, of course, all of the bad deals that the P&M in previous iterations of themselves, incarnations of themselves, whether it be under Manning, yes, in spite of all of that, they did not depend on the Treasury for a cent. So we can definitely conclude that we have to, of course, take the side of the argument advanced by Imsworth. Let's not waste time. Let's not waste time, because you have a neutral, non-partisan element factored into the discussion as far as, of course, whether or not Rowley and Stuart Young were correct in terms of the loss as they projected, and that contributed to the closure of the oil refinery in the way that they did. But there's another development that has taken place that you need to be aware of. And whether they think or not is irrelevant to us. If they want to make themselves fools, backsides and nincompoops, and of course, asinine specimen of inhumanity, let them continue, because that has been par for the course as far as this government is concerned. Common sense is not as common as one would think among this government. So, of course, he tried to tell us that the Jamaican oil refinery relies, of course, or takes 30-something thousand barrels to, of course, produce the products that it produces. And they therefore try to link that to justify, of course, the closure of the oil refinery here at Pointe-à-Pierre, because we were importing 100,000 barrels. Well, I say to Young, you should come on Prince Street. You should come on Prince Street. I say no more. And talk that kind of hogwash. So, if you importing 100,000 barrels of oil to satisfy the viability of the petroleum oil refinery, but you're also producing about 40,000. So it's 140,000 thereabout your refinery really needs, or is, of course, using to refine. Well, if you want to cut out the expenditure of that 100,000, let me put it that way, that you have to import, all you do, you scale down your operations because you would be concerned about what? Fuel and energy security, because Jamaica doesn't produce a barrel of oil. Not a barrel of oil. And they imported that 30-something thousand barrels to, of course, satisfy that oil refinery. And you go on and buying fuel from that oil refinery when you could have scaled down your operation at Pointe-à-Pierre and use, of course, your oil, because you're producing oil, to, of course, satisfy that. That's all. And therefore, the added value will, of course, make a barrel of oil even more profitable or beneficial to Trinidad and Tobago. That is what he said there. That's the only conclusion I could draw now, because they have a tendency to, of course, do what? To confess. And then there is a saying that who the gods want to destroy, they first send them mad. And in the fullness of time, the truth, of course, will come out. And the old people have a saying that, of course, a fellow who commits a crime, his conscience is so convicted that he goes back to the scene of the crime. Some force have them go to the scene of the crime in this case is the nonsense that, of course, Young told us about, of course, the reason for importing fuel from Jamaica. And We looked at it. And what is the reason Jamaica doesn't produce a barrel of oil, but they have a refinery? And why does it run by the government, incidentally? Run by the government. It was called, of course, Petrojam. Petrojam, yes. Run by the government. And they said they have it and they use it, and of course, whilst it may be subjected to scandals from time to time, and the vicissitude of rise and fall of a barrel of oil over the years, they kept it because they wanted to ensure energy security. We now have to depend on other countries, including Jamaica now, for our energy security. What kind of leader is that? What kind of leadership is that? What kind of vision is that? What kind of nincompoops we have at the helm of our affairs? Listen to me, people. And I want to tell the Lavantiers as well, you must be part on the right side of history. Be on the right side of history by doing what? By doing the right thing for the first time, for the children and for your own community. 29 seats must go to the UNC and Kamala Prasad Bissessa. They have never demonstrated such crass incompetence, impotence, destruction. And today, having done all of that, they're looking now fiercely to sell the oil refinery. Nobody who appears want to buy it. That is one. Two, they're looking all over the place to import. Three, you have not, of course, increased production at the level of the search, find, and export of crude oil. True, of course, the company that was set up so to do. They have not done that, and the very limited foreign exchange as a consequence now have to, of course, be used to import the raw material, which will be much more expensive than if you buy a barrel of oil. Come on! You can't get bitumen, and so our roads are in a state, and they will tell us insultingly, wickedly, recklessly, and brutally. They will tell us, listen, we couldn't focus on potholes in the country and the roads, in spite of the fact that people's vehicles and the price of parts and so on and mechanic costs is so almost prohibitive and exponential in terms of cost. They tell us that they were busy saving the country from COVID, so they couldn't focus on the potholes. That's an insult. That's an insult. $22 billion spent on COVID, and 5,000 persons still died. And then, of course, you have a situation where you became so desperate because of your incompetence and your impotence and all of what you tried failed, that you instituted, of course, a state of a blasted emergency in a COVID. That is reckless behavior. And so, of course, the recent revelation of Stuart Young tells us categorically, and that whilst, of course, it would have been in the realm of speculation, that the purpose for closing Petrotrain and closing, of course, and mothballing the oil refinery is because of the entire cabinet conspiring to take Rowley's name out of the criminal investigation aspect as far as the fake oil is concerned and AV drilling. That's what it has to be. Your common sense will tell you that. There's no other rationale for it. None whatsoever. So the entire cabinet has conspired to deprive Trinidad and Tobago and to put it in a rapid spiral downward trend to economic and, of course, civil ruin because they want to save one man. And we must, of course, put them back in office to continue this onslaught on the people. It's an onslaught. It's a destructive path. The existential threat to Trinidad and Tobago is the PNM and, of course, Rowley and that bunch of opportunistic, political, criminalistic parasites. And don't tell me you don't understand what I'm talking about because you just have to, of course, reference, even if you're not familiar or what I've just said is too complex for you, well then it's very simple. Balize House is being constructed, over 100 million, some people say, and more. But, and don't get me vexed before we play the tape too, you know. But Rowley told us so when he became, of course, the head of the PNM, that he was confronted by a banker. He has these phantasmagorical stories that he tells in order, of course, to give himself fame because he was setting us up, or setting up, of course, the party and the rank and file to say, well, listen, he's the best thing since sliced bread. They know that he's the best thing since the devil. Since the devil. So he tells them, listen, $5 million tended to $6 million because there were other media houses that the PNM was owing when he inherited. But today, 10 years afterwards, you building a multi-million edifice of steel, mortar, galvanized, etc. A nexus. Where did money come from? There's a nexus between being in government and, of course, the construction of that monstrosity. And I say it's blood money. And when they're going there, you must see it as blood money building that they are going, of course, to, of course, negotiate their own existence at the expense of the rest of us. And to be more specific, the rest of us are not important to them except their own survival. And therefore I say all of that to say that blue lights and silver bracelets are with the entire cabinet of Rowley, of the Rowley PNM administration. That's the point I'm making. Let us not waste time. We have to get serious in this place. What is unfolding is not just abominable, not just flies in the face of not just the oath, but the expectations of the people, and we are sidelined. Whilst they struggle for position, both inside of the police service apparatus and inside of the PNM. Whilst, of course, our business remains fallow, ineffective, and the solution to the problem, as in the country, of course, cash flow problems continue, of course, to worsen in terms of foreign exchange and in terms, of course, of being able to do business and to live, and the quality of life and standard of living. They juggle for positions, and of course, their solution, higher taxes and the creation of very inventive and creative taxes in order to punish us for putting them in office. Yes, elections have consequences. And that is where we are, people. Of course, Andy's there. Of course, we open up the lines as well. I thought I should treat with that matter before, of course, we go into other matters that are critical to Trinidad and Tobago at this time in terms of making the news. So, of course, let me just get it again. I have been tardy in terms of, because I've become so reliant on, of course, Andy being, of course, there to give you the numbers to call that I have not put that on my agenda to, of course, engage you. So, Andy, if you were there, you can probably make your intervention, of course, and we continue with these conversations because I think it is very, very important that everybody understands that 39 seats must go to the UNC and Kamala Prasad Bisesa, having regard, of course, to the mal-performance, the pernicious performance, the evil performance, the Luciferian performance, the negative performance, the incompetence performance, and of course all of the iniquities that they would have taken advantage of the Trinidad and Tobago population simply because they hold those offices. The numbers to call, of course, are 225-6644, 225-6644, 239-5120, 239-5120, and of course, if you want to send us a voicemail in the comfort of your own convenience, well then, of course, 366-3053, 366-3053. Yes, indeed. I think they would have listened to the ground report, certainly, as to our criticism of the ambition of Mr. Benjamin, all, of course, being, of course, Deputy Commissioner of Police, and were part and parcel of that, what I consider to now be charade, because it has failed. So, therefore, it's a charade, until, of course, they could get probative evidence to show that Ula Christopher did something that required, of course, the kind of a public, what I consider to be imbroglio, a public embarrassment to the Commissioner of Police. Of course, we know too that a pre-action protocol letter has been sent to the Police Service Commission because when we look now, very important, when we look now at the dates, very important of this entire affair, the chronology, the timeline, we are getting some very disturbing results. You know what I say? I said the timeline, very disturbing results, because the specific questions were being asked of those persons in the first press conference of whether or not the Service Commission was involved, and they told us, well, listen, they have to do what they have to do and so on. But when we look at the timeline, we know now that they knew that the Police Service Commission had already acted, meaning that all of that was part and parcel of a plot, want of a better term. And it appears to me that only Ula Christopher was unaware that that was coming down, because if she was, of course, detained on the 30th of January, there's a letter from, of course, the Police Service Commission the next day telling her to, of course, do not report for duty. What does that say? It says that the Police Service Commission was in fact informed as to what is happening. It's one day, it's not like Rowley to say, well, listen, which of course we expect he would say that he didn't know and the cabinet didn't know and the government didn't know and that's the police. No, Hines would have known. Rowley would have known that that was coming down. And that there must have been a cardinal sin, and as Rowley liked to put it, an infringement of the mafia philosophy. And when you go against them, they kill you politically. They kill you politically. Remember that? Well, that is what has transpired. Look at the timeline and you will see now. The 30th, she was pulled in. 31st, a letter. And the letter couldn't just be for her. The letter also indicated to those who presented the information to the public about this detention of the Commissioner of Police, Ula Christopher. A letter would have gone to them as well. So why is they were telling us that that is a matter for the Police Service Commission? They already knew. They already knew what the entire process would have been. And of course, the Police Service Commission remained silent on the matter, even though, of course, they were probed. Then, of course, the documentation, the paper trail, speaks volumes as to their awareness and to their knowledge, and to, of course, the goings-on, the plots to get rid of that commissioner of police. There are those who are saying that we hated the commissioner of police, Earl Christopher. It is not about hate with us. It's about what is right and what is wrong. And like, of course, the three witches in Macbeth. To fear is foul, and foul is fair. We say that, of course, right is right and wrong is wrong. And if, of course, in this occasion, whilst, of course, we criticize her administrative ability, etc., etc., the police service and Rowley and they were giving her credit. So that is their responsibility. Too bad for them that they didn't listen to us. If they had listened to us, they wouldn't have found themselves in that situation where they now have to correct by foul means something that was originally foul. In other words, if the blasted seed is poisoned, what you expect of the tree and what you expect of the fruits? That's what we're talking about. So they initiated it and then try, of course, in the public gaze to try to correct it, but it didn't turn out as they would have liked. It was supposed to be smooth sailing. All of what they told us was supposed to be clandestine and nobody would have been the wiser, as of course the commissioner of police would have been subjected, of course, to that plot to unseat her by those who would have been close to her. I remember last night, of course, on the corridor, we looked at, of course, another Shakespeare play. Yes, I think Julius Caesar, and of course the role of Brutus being close and yet still undermining. And that is where we are. And we are saying, of course, on those principles we stand firm. It's not about like or dislike. It is about competence, incompetence, and if something is wrong, it is damn well wrong. It's you who selected her. You, Rowley, and the PNM selected her by a very open and transparent process. But then to get rid of her, because clearly she didn't perform as Gary Griffith, from all the information we have now, did not meet the expectations of Rowley. And Rowley's expectation is always to do harm to the population, to do something sinister. And clearly one has to conclude that Earl Christopher must have, of course, denied doing something that they didn't like. And we have, of course, the two things, as we said, and we will continue, of course, to say so until till I'm sure others would manifest itself. And that is when Rowley said that, listen, police are what? Are hiding from bandits by locking up, of course, and turning off the lights in stations. And she said, no, that is not so. But I think it is deep. It is deeper than that. I understand that of course, certain elements didn't like the fact that she transferred a certain officer from Tobago who was planted there. And this is, of course, is our assessment, my assessment of the situation, planted there to harass the THA administration in Tobago, to harass and to continue, of course, that avalanche of uncertainty and disruption, while, of course, orchestrated by central government, as Bernie rightly said yesterday. And I want to thank them for that level of consciousness. You preventing the THA from getting the resources that they ought to get, established many years ago in legislation and in law, but you're either delaying or you incrementally, but in wide spans of time, so that they appear to be ineffective. When you release money, for example, but when your turn to try to hoodwink the population in Tobago to get back into office, when, of course, you went to the parliament with a tenuous majority and you love Tobago, and in the anticipation of greater autonomy, you add 3 seats. That is the flippant and the superficial and superfluous positioning and argument for adding those 3 seats. And of course, you expected that the EBC will, of course, conform as they did and focus, of course, on popular, regular PNM support electoral districts in Tobago and found the 3 seats there. But the people, as in Trinidad, was waiting, set like a mapapi, to deal with the PNM shenanigans. And so, in spite of all of that, in addition, of course, to providing 50 million just so for upgrading of hotels and guest houses and bed and breakfast facilities in Tobago, in a time of COVID, essentially. And then another 50 when the election eventually came. And of course, contracts going like wild peas all over Tobago. We were there, we saw it. However, as soon as the people spoke, 14-1, devastating for the PNM, a devastating loss. They're lucky they get one. All the remaining monies and projects were summarily pulled out of Tobago. So we know it's evil people we are dealing with. Laventils, we are dealing with evil people because you too, over the years, have been subjected to that kind of what I consider to be maltreatment by a bunch of opportunistic political parasites who have left, of course, your infrastructure to deteriorate further. Who said, of course, that they love Laventilians in Beetham. Rowley said that. And that it's a special place with special problems and therefore should be given special attention. And then, of course, he came up, but never delivered. But in opposition, he came up with a helping hand scenario for communities like these, like us, like ours, because I consider myself a Laventilian as well. You can say what you want. He's a Tobagoan, I'm a Laventilian. And I'm saying to you, what they have done is not only disrespect us, not only shortchange us, not only deceived us, not only attempt to socio-economically endanger us, and they have orchestrated that deliberately by what is called, of course, and I'm sure that they are students of that, Machiavellian politics. They beat you into submission, and when, of course, they want to get your votes, they then come and give you, of course, a chubby and a $500 and of course jobs, etc. in European CPEP and so on, and then they say they catch you, and then you go back and put them there, and then the next, of course, 5 years they implement draconian measures. And what are the draconian measures? Because they have wasted our resources. They have misappropriated our resources, financial, social, economic, as well as human, by implementing more and more taxes. Andy? Yes. That is what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, purported to be government and governance, and what is worse, they have this uncanny, criminalistic propensity, proclivity, tendency to then say, no, it's not me. Put on a shirt and tie, wash the face and powder it up and so on, and believe that somehow we must see them as immaculate. We must see them as spotless. We must see them as a people with high moral and ethical standards. Well, I want to tell you, the reality is the opposite. And you must now not be fooled by any banana and monkey talk. Or indeed, as Tobago has rejected the ship, the Calcutta ship. Reject and reject and reject and reject. That is what we must do. I am talking here not just of Laventils, who must be on the right side of history at this time, but also the entire Trinidad and the Tobago. This party must be relegated to the dustbin of political history in this country. The people and future generations must read about them, because there will be those who will record this historic event or these historic events, and they should be seen as how not to operate as a political party, how not to operate as a government, by engaging, of course, in regular, of course, not just pseudo-racism, using your own race to fatten your chops or your pockets, or line your pockets and your family and finances, etc. And to hell with the rest, because you could talk the next talk and expect the people, of course, to support you, because you see them as voter banks or something, of course, as the so-called crapo with a balisé tie. This is a different era, and this is a different population. They didn't expect, for example, that we can be here this morning and talk the way that we are talking to you, informing you and deconditioning you from, of course, the ill intent and, of course, conduct of the PNM, having dominated, of course, the politics for all these years. They even, of course, gerrymandered the electoral boundaries so as to create, of course, the majority or a large majority of the 41 seats on the East-West corridor, because of that what? Because of that pseudo-racist agenda. They believe that the Africans will treat with that. But Rowley has now effectively shot himself in both feet by introducing, of course, an element that he never thought will backfire. And that is Short Young. Doesn't represent one iota, one hair, one texture of hair or color of skin of the African man. Be conscious. Be conscious, because when we go up and down the corridor, you're saying, listen, you were told to be afraid and be aware of the Indians and them, because they have different texture of hair. They may not have, of course, a different color of skin, pigmentation. But certainly, the principle is there, and more significantly, they train you to turn a blind eye to Indians in the PNM. And we are so foolish. We're so foolish because we never believed that a leader of the PNM will be so destructive, will be so pernicious, will be so barbaric, will be so engaged so as to mislead a significant proportion of the Trinidad and Tobago demographic as well as the racial composition to dominate power and authority and high offices in the country on which all of us depend for our survival. Don't tell me that you are an independent man and that you're not dependent. You're talking nonsense, errant nonsense. Whether you're a mechanic, whether you're a sweeper, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a car agent, whether you are into insurance, the political decisions over the years of your existence in Trinidad and Tobago, your success or failure, or put another way, you're increasing the potential to increase your success because everybody wants something nicer for themselves. They don't want to be a failure. Depends on the political decisions that are made. And since some of you may be recalcitrant, or your contumacy, your stubborn disobedience to reasoning and rationality, let me give you one or two examples. The type of vehicles that comes into the country is a political decision. So, when roll on, roll off was decided upon by the Pandya administration so that more people could have a vehicle, it was a political decision. And let me tell you, conversely, the fact that it didn't happen before, it was also a political decision. But of course, the PNM was in government and therefore felt that the ordinary man must not have a readily or affordable vehicle to move around. Trinidad and Tobago, of course, being in love, of course, with the motor vehicle. That's not waste time. The quality of the air that you breathe will determine by a political decision. So it is not by accident the EMA functions. The level of noise in the public and of course private space is as a result of a political decision that went to Parliament and of course found itself in legislation that of course says that you cannot of course have noise or control the noise that you may make from time to time up to a certain time or beyond a certain time, as the case may be. Political. What else? You want to talk about the roads? But that is obvious. Political. When Rowley tells you that, listen, I am concerned with, of course, your life under COVID, so therefore I ignore the potholes. Political. And when, of course, he decides to, of course, provide a company to deal with roads and to resurface, etc., because these days the country is being, of course, riddled with multiple and numerous patches all over our main and private and, of course, community thoroughfares. The company itself to be, of course, disbanded because of corruption. But more significantly, the fact that they decide to patch hole rather than resurface the road smoothly and nicely. Political. And just in case, you're still floundering and still having difficulty, well, if you're a businessman and you tell yourself, well, I'm a mechanic and therefore it doesn't affect me, well, the fellow who come in to fix the car by you, the extent to which he will come and the frequency with which he will come and the risk he will take with the vehicle is largely because of the availability of money And of course, the cost of parts and the importation there, because we don't make it here. We don't make them here. Political. Because of course, all of the subsidies that were taken away. And of course, the imposition of property tax. Yes. Political. So no way anybody in Trinidad and Tobago could tell me that you are living in a fool's paradise as far as I'm concerned if you believe that, of course, Rowley and they are not affecting your life. And believe that somehow, superficially, you are independent. No. The clothes you wear and the quality. If a decision is made not to import a certain type of clothing that you would like, political. Understand that. Increase in electricity, political. Increase in water rates and the hogwash associated for you to accept. Increase water rates and electricity rates, political. Rowley and they, of course, they will advance the rationale and say that other countries paying for it less, etc., etc., etc. But I want to remind you that you have to be eclectic and you have to be discerning. Because if they are making reference, of course, to other countries, a dollar is a dollar in their country. But if you're talking about a U.S. exchange, of course, to Trinidad, you will understand you have to pay 7 or 8, and these days $10 on the black market I'm talking about. In the latter case, for a US dollar. Understand that. All are political. So thus, of course, the argument that political decisions have, of course, and therefore elections have consequences. And what we have seen with respect, of course, to the performance of the UNC is clear that while, of course, the country must be run on taxes and so on, because Kamala and them ain't go get the money by some epiphany out of the sky, we have to help, of course, run our country and the services that is expected of the government to provide. Taxes will have, of course, to facilitate that. But the point about it is that with Kamala Prasad, Mr. Said, the UNC, humane, people-centered, and always in our collective and individual interest. Individual, for example, the cerebral palsy people, they attach, of course, the parents to the URP to give them something. Rowley and them come and say, no, that URP wasn't made for that. Just as how, when, of course, $1 million for the families of persons who would have died in service in the police, and of course the prison, etc. And the cabinet would have made a decision in the absence, of course, of a clear policy position as yet, because it was a recent idea. But of course, it was welcomed by all police officers. No police officer will want to go against that measure. Rowley come in and say, no, there was no policy that was left by the last government, so therefore we cannot, of course, do that. As if the cabinet is constrained by, of course, such old talk and hogwash, only because they don't want to give. They are not on that. They are about, of course, lining their own pockets. And don't tell me that you don't understand the whole question of the hundreds of course, of recusals at the level of the cabinet to give a irrefutable example. Don't tell me I don't know that. Don't tell me I don't know. Don't tell me I don't know. So people, of course, let us go straight, of course, once again, the numbers are called 225-6644, 225-6644. 239-5120, and of course, 366-3053, 366-3053. Yes, they listened to us, so they called a press conference yesterday, the police service, to explain, of course, because we were very critical, and of course we must have, of course, ruffled some feathers in terms of the ambition of Benjamin and, of course, Suzette Martin, and they came, of course, without Suzette Martin, of course, to explain. And to, of course, we don't need any explanation. What we need, of course, is for you to function in the way that you ought to, of course, all of the statistics and so on that they gave about, of course, the reduction and the comparative analysis and so on. Clearly, in my view, of course, all of that could have been done without an SOE. All of what they said could have been done without an SOE, including, of course, the so-called guns and so on that they are now retrieving. And ammunition. All they had to do was to do exactly what they did in the SOE. But they say we have a carnival mentality. So, of course, there's a limited window of intensity. Something like, of course, carnival productivity, of course, is extremely high, but there is no consistency. And then, of course, it drops. And as a consequence, the cycle continues. We have to have a grouping of persons who are consistent. And of course, as consistent as the Northern Star and as immutable like a scent. In other words, unchangeable. And so long as we don't have that with the right people, of course, clearly Rowley and they are the wrong people, because it is about integrity, it's about people's commitment to their country, their job, their responsibility to, of course, to execute in the particular place that they would have found themselves to serve the people. And of course, what we have seen is that Rowley has assembled a bunch of what I consider to be not just indolence, but incompetent individuals who are aligned to a mafia-like existence and administration, and believe that they could generate these, what I consider to be desultory, now and then, so-called benefits and of course, advantageous exercises, and say, of course, you see what we are doing. But there is a psychological term for such practice. It is called framing. So when Rowley goes up, of course, to Moruga and open a fishing depot, something that the people are already complaining about. That is an exercise in framing. What? Because he uses the opportunity, of course, to say there is more of that. Of course, Young will say that young people now will, of course, have a better day, etc., etc. But you have blasted 10 years. Suddenly, you being anointed prime minister, things are just going to change. Where you feel it is? Where you feel it is? A caterpillar turning into a butterfly, suddenly that kind of what I consider to be metamorphosis, dramatic, unexpected, and mysterious. Come on, you can't. You don't have the capacity. If you didn't display it over the last 10 years, you can't display it any other time. You have 10 years. Get the hell out of office. That's what you have to do now. So, of course, he goes up there and he opens it and he gives all the hyperboles and all of the grandiloquent language and all of the promises as usual. But in Laventille, and for places like Laventille and the East-West Corridor, you tell a man in front of everybody in a PNM function, find $100 million to treat with that problem in these parts. And up to now, we can't see a cent. How much months now that was? And in what year? We have to talk in what year now? 2024. That is what we have. That's what we have. Superficial, superfluous. Plenty talk. But of course, I've always said an ounce of action is better than a pound of talk. Ounce of action is better than a pound of talk. And all them fellas have is talk. Extremely garrulous. talkative, motor mouth, rara mouth. That's what they are. Deliver nothing of significance. Don't tell me you don't understand what I'm talking about. Standards exist. And standards was what? Was touted to be what? A venture that was supposed to bring to Trinidad and Tobago over $500 billion a year to Trinidad and Tobago's economy. What has happened? Tobago wasn't supposed to suffer, according, of course, to the current minister of works, for transportation issues between the both islands. What has happened? The country is almost marooned, and its economy decimated, because Rowley don't want to continue the effective and efficient policies of the previous administration. So he want to change and plunge Tobago into, of course, economics spiral. One, of course, that amounted to survival. And anything could play in such circumstance. Anything could play in such circumstance, people. So, of course, let's go to the line numbers to call again. I'm sure that somebody will be there to, of course, accommodate by now. 225-6644, 225-6644, 239-5120. So, and of course, the WhatsApp, only WhatsApp, of course, to leave us a line. And of course, we will play it in due course. 366-3053, 366-3053. Yes, people.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang,
Once again, of course, the numbers to call 225-6644, 225-6644, 239-5120, 239-5120, and of course, the WhatsApp number 366-3053, 366-3053. I'm sure you wouldn't want me to talk all of 3 hours. Not that I will, of course, not relish the challenge. But of course, this program is about an interactive program, so the lines are open, I suppose, at central control. They are waiting, I'm sure, by now for your calls. And if you can do that now, I'm sure that we'll be able to accommodate the same. But of course, 225-6644, 225-6644, 225-6644 as the numbers to call, and of course 239-5120, 239-5120, and of course the WhatsApp, the way you can leave a note, as you know, for the regulars and the not so regular, 366-3053, 366-3053. You have a call?
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Good morning.
Oh boy, I take in everything you're saying while I doing my do. And you touch base with something very important. Most everything, in fact, you said was very, 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 very important. And I hope the people of Trinidad and Tobago take it in. I hope you all take it in. But one of the most important things that he mentioned, that I came out to endorse 100%, is that the ground report don't come to tell we this issue the police commissioner is about a distraction.
bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Just like the issue with Gary Griffith and the merit list, people will still want to call and say a distraction.
Bang, 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 bang.
So what everybody trying to tell me, oh Lennox, a ground report program with people with high level of intelligence. Because also earlier on he mentioned where the common sense of this country or the cabinet gone, natural common sense gone. So I don't be Baropo calling to say, hey, don't study this distraction. I am saying you are wrong. This is not a distraction.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, it's not a distraction. It have many things with many of you. And we know we have reached the point now to tell you all, do not sing like everybody else. That anything come before you is a distraction, and the point is what? The same topic over and over. The road's bad. No, Mexi in the hospital. Rowley. Stewart. This, that, and the other. But then now sometimes I will tell you the people that some of the things or conversations that you all don't believe, that you all believe is not a distraction. It is because it's keeping us minute and right there in that position alone. That's what it do. They just keeping me in that position. No. The closing of the oil refinery, only go tell me that is a distraction. Lennox Smith talk about it this morning. It's not a distraction. But all the nitty-gritties behind that and the evidence of Colin Imbert admitting he showed you all about net earning. Understanding or not the overall, the net earning, which means money's after all expenses.
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
So for some of you that doesn't want to listen, because they find he's talk too much to Lennox Smith, the Pitbull listens, the Pitbull learns, and the Pitbull exceptional, receptible to the knowledge in which he brings. But everything I go remember. When he bring it, I break it down to you in which I'm doing right now. Look at how much things he talked about. He even talked about, imagine the shamelessness of Jamaica, who do our oil is a refinery, exporting DA cruel to we for ships. Only understand the disrespect, the disgust, the 50 years. This government made Trinidad and Tobago a hole. I saw all they know is a hole. All in understand the hole this government made, and one of the references in which Lennox Smith did bring to you all. Some of you maybe know about it. Some of you may not know about it. But let me give you a reminder.
With Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Jamaica exporting fuel oil to Trinidad?
For the first time ever, Jamaica Petrojam is exporting fuel to Trinidad and Tobago. And to that we're looking to a million barrels of fuel oil, valued at about 90 million US.
Did he just say 1 million barrels? That's Telroy Morgan, the general manager at Petrojam, Jamaica's oil refinery. Now, Jamaica actually doesn't produce oil, but Trinidad does. So this announcement took me completely by surprise. But apparently, Petrotrin has been down since like 2019.
Trinidad, who has oil, their refinery shuttered about 6 years ago, and so they have been importing. But over those many years, Petrojam has been trying to get in, so to speak, and it has finally happened.
Well, that explains Trinidad's foreign exchange issues. They produce oil, but they don't refine it anymore, so they're exporting it raw and about to buy it back refined from Jamaica. Apparently, this batch is some special marine fuel, though.
It's a fuel mainly for marine vessels, tankers.
But still, the optics. In my opinion, this signals a power shift in CARICOM, which has been at least 10 years in the making. And that's probably why, according to Telroy, this deal took so long. I think Trinidad didn't want to do it. Now, Trinidad and Jamaica have always been competitors, and the Trinis are going to hate me for saying this, but these last 10 years, Trinidad's economy has been on the decline, while Jamaica has been improving. One of the major issues with doing business in Jamaica, especially for manufacturers, has always been the high cost of energy. Trinidad has always had that advantage. But are the roles now reversing? Remember my Taking Stock interview with Marla Dukaran? She's an economist from Trinidad who was explaining their foreign exchange issues.
The energy sector has not been winning the kind of foreign currency that it used to, say, let's say back in the 70s, 80s, even back up to 2013. We're winning a lot less now for a couple of reasons. One is the international price of these commodities, but also because of our production being very weak.
Wow, this really explains a lot. And then, of course, you have the new kid on the block when it comes to oil, Guyana. They're exporting barrels by the millions now, to the point where their government is literally giving away money to babies.
Our government will provide a one-off grant of $100,000 for every newborn baby born in Guyana to a Guyanese mother.
And you can see the conversions here. That's about 75 KJMD, 3,200 TTD, or 477 US dollars. Must be nice. By the way, Guyana doesn't have a refinery either, so that's also an opportunity for Jamaica and Petrojam. Anyway, to wrap this all up, the power dynamics in CARICOM are changing. As investors in this region, you need to make note of these shifts so you can spot the opportunities and the risks. And that's the bottom line. Follow our business page at Money Media GA for more content like this, and subscribe to the
Understand Trinidad and Tobago in all what Lennox Smith said to you this morning, Jed. And you all hear it for yourself. Petrojam. Guyana don't have a refinery. Guyana producing over 1 million barrels. Them done producing more than we only 100,000 maybe. I think about 40,000, 30,000 barrels a day with some kind of choppiness, so. And also, you hear what I say? It puts Jamaica in a position because Guyana don't have an oil refinery to be able to work with Guyana, boy. We so close to Guyana that pipelines could bring the oil they produce, which is less money Guyana and oil will have to put out. And you telling me we have a government of common sense in Trinidad and Tobago? Well, that is that a distraction? What else some of you gonna come and tell me? Come and tell the ground report that is a distraction, not watching your own selves, that you all are distractions from we bringing these type of things to you because you worry go back to bad roads, no medication in the hospitals, elections, and the distraction from the real issues. So that's not a real issue. I'm just asking you all.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
I say all of that to tell each and every one of you, especially those of you on social media, nothing is coming before us now is a distraction. It's a reality, and the nastiness, the stinkness of this taxing, lying, thieving government, and the demonic ways that they have towards we. Oh God, we, all them people and them do in 10 years to make money is tax we. A line of what? They mash up real people, but no understanding the nature of their destruction. They no understanding that. Alright, all I want to know what I'm talking about. Let me give you the idea what I'm talking about. Understand. What I'm going to say, what I'm playing here now too is a distraction. What am I about to play here now to prove to you everything Lennox Smith bring to the table is so important for you all to be able to connect the dots. Let me know if this is a distraction too, please. Let me know. I'm asking you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
What I want to know is where was this common sense from the very beginning?
Representatives from the Ministry of Works and Transport, what fueled the need to revise the demerit points system? Transport Commissioner Clive Clark stated after consultation with stakeholders, it was recognized that some of the best drivers could end up losing their driving permits for minor infractions.
Discovered that the light may not be working on the vehicle. Right, and therefore that in itself we have carried 3 different points to 2. I can't recall the exact figure to go back the area. And a certain punitive fine. Right, and that is something that while we know having a light and a non-functioning light could be a problem, sometimes it can happen on the basis that the driver or the owner of the vehicle may not be aware.
The amendments of the 9th Schedule of the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Amendment Act 2017 took effect on November 18.
First things first, ma'am, can you see what I'm saying? Are you seeing? Where's your line of sight right now? What are you looking at? What are you looking out at? How are you driving? Via sonar or radar? Because I also you see what I'm saying. But back to more important business. Really? You are telling me that it took you all 4 years. When did this new U-turn demerit point system take effect? In 2020, 2021? Let's say 3. It took you all 3 years to come to the realization that a bulb can blow without the driver knowing. Really? And who are these so-called stakeholders that persons in authority love to reference? Who are they? You need the stakeholders to come and tell you that a bulb can blow while a vehicle is in motion and the driver had no way of knowing. You need who are the stakeholders? Because here what?
Commissioner Clive Clark stated after consultation with stakeholders, it was recognized that some of the best drivers could end up losing their driving permits for minor infractions.
Well, A, you vacate your post and put the stakeholders where you now sit. Because clearly, the people who have the power don't have the sense, and the ones who have the sense don't have the power. We know what's taking place behind the scenes. I wonder if that very upstanding police officer didn't give me that traffic ticket for working at night, which sent me down the path to write to every top person at the Ministry of Works and Transport, even sending you all a letter, letting you all know that I'm planning on taking legal action against the police officer. I'm wondering if I didn't make those videos highlighting the fact that a headlight can blow while the vehicle is in motion and it didn't get the country's support, the overwhelming support of the cut, to highlight the stupidity you all are on. I wonder if you would have been having this discussion today, or you would have kept it the way it was, oppressing people for something that some people have no control over. You're punishing the many for the few, but that's not. Don't feel that $3,000 letter when you still taking people to court, because that unfair and unjust, malicious traffic ticket caused me great pain and anxiety. Now, even when I know my vehicle is fully functional, fully legal and fully respected, every time I see a police roadblock, my heart rate goes up. It has caused me sleepless nights. I still find out they are in court because what they did to me was wrong. And not only me, but countless other citizens as well. I'm going right down on this matter, right down like my ex's life went after we parted ways. Because I have proof of certain things. You all want to come here and talk sick for public, whatever I say, I can back it up in court about us hardly talk certain things. I have proof that there is corruption within the utility system.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.
Well, here it is, not Trinidad and Tobago. If all those things that Lennox Smith bring this morning is a distraction, which I, the Pitbull, the Ground Report program, Mickie's absent, and when we vote, 2. All it takes is 2, and that's how it goes. And I vote in Lennox Smith's corner. So whether he vote opposite, the Ground Report not watching these things as no distraction. We are watching these things as ammunition. We are watching these things as facts. We are watching all these scenarios for you, the people, to use. Understand it's real, to be able to make an informed decision when that general elections call, so we'll understand what's going on. Well, then if there is a distraction, all them thinking a distraction, which I disagree with you, Lennox Smith disagree with you. So Bible, oh boy, he is my partner, but I'm telling you, everything that come out other than the line that you may want to go down is a distraction. No. This whole week program, last week's program, with whatever came forward to this program was no distraction, Papa. It was sent. Something happened by the Almighty God for people to be able to be informed. Remember, you already well informed, but boy, it have a lot of them skulls, barrel heads, dodo heads that are not. And it's our duty in every way and mean to try for we to disseminate the information, knock it in their heads, because if them don't get, their decisions will affect all of us. Because their decisions is who are they paying them their 10 years? You are paying them? I are paying them? No. Then we vote for that? No. Are we happy with that? No. Do we want to get rid of that? Yes. Well then, boy, if everything that come is a distraction, well, boy, let me be distracted. I wish if Lennox Smith could have do like me. I want to be distracted. Yeah. Yeah, let me be distracted. Let us be distracted, man. What went on here? What? Nice. So what went on here? So are you ready to be distracted? Yeah. I want to be distracted because everything is a distraction. So let me create the real distraction to me they know.
Man, yeah, buy no shoes and thing, and make yeah buy no shirt and thing. Soon as PNM win, not a thing. Well, Well, the tax in my house and thing. And me cash up online and thing. What a thing, oh, what a thing, what a thing, what a thing. Down in Trinidad, I pay a gun shot a thing. Every day them get up is a wah wah wah.
Whoa, boy, Lennox, get up and dance, you know.
Info.
Yeah, we get them is a distraction. Because what we bring in is a distraction every day, you know. So, dance now, boy. Let us see. Because your dance alone is a distraction partner. Unless you really don't want to distract them. But I want to distract them. So let them see how it is dance now, partner.
Well, me can't buy no books and thing. And me can't buy no food and thing. Not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. Man soon as PNM win. Youth want smartphone and thing. But they can't go to school and thing. Not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. Man soon as PNM win. What? Tell me what I want. Tell me what I want. Don't me Trinidad, please tell me what I want. Each and every day and you pick me a band. Up on the radio station me I hear about horn. But when I read the news another youth get con. Another mother cry, another mother mourn.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, get no wine. They on the scene. Let's lock mother die. Yeah, man, your shoes and thing.
Let me go there, Lennox dance.
Books and thing. Oh, what a thing, what a thing, what a thing. Don't get Trinidad, what a thing, what a thing. And me can't buy no house and thing. And me can't buy no food and check the dad, the gunshot a fling. Yeah,
I can't do that. See alone to do that. That is called distraction. So here it is. Time check. While we discuss all these very, 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 very important issues, not distractions, because these are the issues. Yes, they are the issues that's supposed to bring down this PNM government. These are the issues that we have to see. How bad things is in the Trinidad and Tobago police service. Yeah. Oh, they understand how bad it is, or? All right, let me. Not that one. All right, not that one. Yeah, because we serious people.
You get this.
After its recommendation, stressing the importance of due process and the presumption of innocence. Opposition leader Kamala Prasad argues that Wednesday's debate must go beyond reviewing Benjamin and Simon's resumes. She adds that given the crisis within the TTPS, Parliament must scrutinize the controversial circumstances leading to these appointments. The nominations require only a simple majority to pass. Tobago was shifted into emergency containment over the weekend after bunker fuel from last February's oil spill disaster resurfaced and washed ashore in the Petitru Bay in Lambo. When CNC3 News visited the area, there was a strong scent and the fuel was on the shoreline. In a media release, the Office of the Chief Secretary said immediate measures, including the deployment of oil boom barriers, have been put in place to contain the spread of the oil. Chief Secretary Farley Augustin convened a meeting on Saturday with several agencies to assess the situation and plan the next steps forward. The team director says the fuel trapped between the rocks and the sea's floor resurfaced, and he expects more to come up in the coming months. Those were your 6 a.m. news headlines. We'll have a Court's recommendation stressing the importance of due process and the presumption of innocence. Opposition.
So let me ask you all again, because I want to open the lines. Was that a distraction? The opposition leader is asking and letting them know that, hey, this thing is more serious than ever, you know. Here it is, the 5th day, and whatever debate will come to go on in the police service day. That is not likely, you know. The woman saying, but let me hear it again. Let we hear it again. Listen. Oh, someone or you already go started a text. That's a distraction. The one before the distraction too. All right, let me see. Let's play it again. Listen. Listen!
After its recommendation, stressing the importance of due process and the presumption of innocence. Opposition leader Kamala Prasad argues that Wednesday's debate must go beyond reviewing Benjamin and Simon's resumes. She adds that given the crisis within the GTPS, Parliament must scrutinize the controversial circumstances leading to these appointments. The nominations require only a simple majority to pass. Tobago was shifted into emergency containment over the weekend after bunker fuel from...
I will leave the Tobago and bunker fuel and thing resurfacing and how much money and they still owing people, the fishermen and them. That ain't a distraction either. But I want to go to much of places now. I want to make sure we stay one place. Yeah. So we sticking to opposition leader is saying on the 5th, the debate over the police commissioner and all that kind of thing is very serious and needs to be seriously debated. But, whatever had gone, still could be passed by a simple majority. Meaning, the government, this taxing, lying, thieving, stinking, devilish, uncaring, piping, smoking, crackheads, politically, will pass anyhow, with or without the opposition. Is that a distraction? All right. Well, let me go to more distraction. I want a little more distraction because I'm ready to open the lines, you know. But I want a little more distraction. Yeah.
Man, can't buy no shoes and thing, and me can't buy no shirt and thing. Soon as PNM win, not a thing.
When I doing that and dancing a distraction too? That because all you're not opening all your eyes. How that is a distraction? What is the lyrics of that tune? We can't buy no shoes and thing. Listen.
Can't buy no shoes and thing, and me can't buy no shirt and thing. Soon as PNM win, not a thing. Well, they taxing me out and thing, and me cash up online and thing. What a thing. Down in Trinidad, I pay a gun shot a fling. Every day them get up is a war. Where the rats and Aki really fighting for. Cause the rich still rich and the poor still poor. No matter how we know, and the da. Well, the poor can't take it no more. So them nines, them a go drum and fish sure. We really don't care about the la. We really don't care about the la. Well, me can't buy no books and thing, and me can't buy no food and thing. Not a thing. Man, soon as PNM win, youth want smartphone and thing, but they can't go to school and sing. Not a thing. Man, soon as PNM win, what? Tell me what I want. Look me Trinidad, please tell me what I want. Each and every day I do pick me a band. Up on the radio station me I hear about horn. But when I read the news another youth get con. Another mother cry, another mother mourn. Me a teach the youth from dusk till the dawn. Tell them bad mind can't stop me at all. Yeah, I get no green. Yeah, I get no white. Yeah, on the scene. Let's look man alive. Can't buy no shoes and thing. Can't buy no school books and thing. Oh, what a thing. Don't get running.
Nice. So tell me, that distraction? No. So now, let me know if this one going to play here now too. If there's a distraction, let me know. Lennox Smith judging, he go clearly know if all what I do, if it was a distraction. Let me know if there's a distraction to Trinidad and Tobago. Let me know.
That conference week, because Akash one time where we use.
As soon as Packer start to ask the serious question, the consequence done. You realize that? Big up Packer, boy.
The guns in the center of this investigation, where are they now?
That matter is under investigation, and I am saying we choose to make no further comment on this matter.
You would have had this SSA matter didn't start today. At what point did Earlier Christopher go from being the Commissioner of Police to being someone who needed to be under investigation?
This matter is under investigation, and I wish to make no further comment on that matter.
Do you still have confidence in Suzette Martin? She's now the face of several high-profile police blunders. I can name at least 4 off the top of my head. This one being probably the biggest. Should the public should still have confidence in Suzette Martin as a Deputy Commissioner of Police? Do you still have confidence in her as a Deputy Commissioner of Police?
The Trinidad and Tobago Police is equipped with officers that are professional and are committed to the role and function that they do, and therefore we continue to do our duties without fear of favor, malice, or
but is DCP Suzette Martin one of those officers that you have confidence in who's actually doing a good job right now? This is a massive blunder.
And again, I want to make it absolutely clear that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service continues to do our duty without fear or favor, malice, or ill will. And I thank you for that question.
This is a massive blunder by the reporter. The ground report since Lennox will break down all of this and show the importance. All I'm doing is bringing the evidence to you with everything he tell you. Who gonna call and say, hey, you listen on this? That extraction from the 3 billion that missing. I'm sorry, I find the clip with the warlords, and I think Lennox Smith might be able to give me that assistance. Send it to me, any one of you, on WhatsApp. With the warlords in America, in England, to the council, saying that why ain't not the finance minister being investigated? Who have that clip? Send it for me. That a lot of people ain't see it, and we need for them to see it. Understand that the type of blunder, but people go say, what is we doing now is a distraction because we ain't studying the 3 billion that missing. Nothing that is happening right now in Trinidad and Tobago with this devilish taxing, lying, thieving, PNM government, piping, crackheads, sprangers, a bunch of them, sick people. Is a distraction. Everything that is coming out is the nastiness, the deceit, the dishonesty, the malpractice, the misbehavior in public office by a gangster government. Lennox Smith, they say that. Gangsters. A bunch of gangsters. And the gangsterism and the bullish ways and all the dirtiness playing out now. Yes, think it and send that video from me, boy Lennox. Yeah, it playing out with no link. Make sure it's with no link. Because when I get that and I play that, and then I pull Gary about fisherman and these folks that you see who all only beat recently and all actually was supposed to, but also we have to acknowledge the good work of the man. Me no know for nothing, you know. In bringing evidence people of Trinidad and Tobago, you, all of us, that Petro train was a net income earner, and that the company have never ever in all its thing went to the government for any money, and the government create and give them money because they wanted to close them down. And to do what? Hide dirty bald head stinking rowdy a whole cabinet. But I will Lennox Smith tell you also in the morning early, I will listen to him because I listening, and then I come in and break it down to all you. You also tell you piano was broken. That was owing $6 million. How from owing $6 million to the bank, throwing a raffle? All you pay back the bank with a raffle, and all you billing a headquarters for over $100 million. Boy, them sell raffle Canada. Them sell raffle in America. Them sell raffle all up the mamas. Let me say welcome to the people that are looking to us on Guile. Guile Trinidad and Tobago and Guile Caribbean. Yes, so let me know if we are coming across clean today on Guile. Yes. Because it's very important that we do it. Not a thing. Man, soon as PNM win, I want to give you more, you know. I have plenty more for you here, boy. Oh, good. Not a thing. Man, soon as PNM win. Let me go to the next one. Listen.
This is to arrest Ulaye Christopher. Who signed off on that?
This is a matter that...
Who gave the instructions to arrest Ulaye Christopher? Who signed off on that?
This is a matter that is under investigation at this time, and therefore, again, because it's a matter that is under investigation, we want to be very careful in terms of saying anything further on this matter.
But you should know who gave the instructions, and what role did the DTP play in the investigation and the instruction to arrest? Walk me through the rule that happened between then and now. Who gave that instruction to investigate and subsequently arrest the Commissioner of Police?
The DCP INI is the one that is in charge of this particular investigation, and I think probably you can refer to the DCP INI again for any further questions on this matter. But for now, we simply would say that the process and the investigation is ongoing, and we will continue to just, again, ask persons to allow the process to take its due course. Thank you much.
But I ask again, why wouldn't Ulaye Christopher get back into it? You had DCP Suzette Martin facing charges, and she was able to work as normal. There are no charges. Ulaye Christopher is facing no charges. Why should she not be able to get her position back as Commissioner of Police?
I think that my answer remains, and it's important, my answer remains that this is a matter that is under investigation, and we will be very, very firm in taking our stance that we will allow the process to take place, and we will not comment any further.
Well, let's talk about process. What further information or evidence do you need against Ulaye Christopher? We were told on Saturday that there was insufficient evidence. What further evidence do you need to carry on this investigation?
I am really appreciating that in terms of your question.
I'm not appreciating the lack of answers.
I want to tell you at this point in time that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will remain focused in terms of the task that is ahead. And that task is to ensure greater stability of our officers, ensure that at this time that there's that healing process, and as we continue to do that, we will continue to ensure that all is in place for the well-running of the police service, and our officers from Deputy Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner, and even our divisional commanders, we are all on board to ensure that the police service stand tall even in the midst of our challenges.
It's just yesterday Lennox Smith say he have no trust in no man. Woo-hoo. And I find like the pulpit boy. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Amen.
Bang, 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 bang.
I find like I ain't see no God in the pulpit boy.
Any council clip for you, Andy?
You send it nice. But Lennox Smith, let me engage, you know. That clip you hear there. You find any God, but like you said yesterday, you say you have no trust in man. Look at the type of question that being answered. And I like that journalist saying he said the commissioner said the acting one say but he's still not acting because he ain't get appointed yet. Well, I appreciate the questions that you're thinking. And the journalist say, well, I don't appreciate the way you're technically coming across. Come on. How you find the player yelling, Smith?
It's clear it was pure theatrics. That's why last night I referred, of course, to competition with Tommy Joseph and Larry Joseph, because that clearly was a lampoon exercise. It was caricature after caricature, theatrics and histrionics one after the other. And I started, of course, I think yesterday's program or is it this morning? Whichever it is, I was, of course, describing if incompetence, stupidity, and so on had to be defined, then, of course, that particular exercise yesterday by the police would have, of course, remove all doubts as to what is stupidity and I mean, incompetence and the inability, of course, to respond, because it is clear that, of course, Suzette Martin ought to have been there. They knew that the journalists would have been betraying their call if they didn't ask a question as to who. And listen to the man. The man says that she is the one to answer that question. He couldn't say that it was she. He said that she's the one to answer that question. I mean, so what kind of comic show is that? And then, of course, I see that they responded, of course, to our concerns yesterday as well, with respect, of course, to him claiming that, of course, he did speak to his ambition to be commissioner of police, and he said it was just a spoken language, and it's intimating to people that listen, you must speak positive, and that is what he was doing. But of course, the question was asked of him, you are the one to benefit the most from the destruction or the disappearance or the withdrawal of Erla Christopher as commissioner of police. I think he was stunned by that one, and up to now he has not given, of course, an answer in relation to it. All he said, of course, is that he was referring to people who have an ambition, go after it, etc., etc., etc. But of course, he has not answered. But the fact is that he is the one that's going to be acting as commissioner of police, particularly in an SOE, and already recommended by the Police Service Commission that it will be ratified tomorrow in the sitting of the House tomorrow, because a simple majority that is required.
Nice. Trinidad Tobago, the lines are open. What's your front burner? And your front burner is not a distraction. What's your front burner? What people are supposed to know that they don't know? What else besides what we bring to the table that you could bring to the table so we can educate people, so in the future they can make an informed decision that wouldn't affect, or a good decision, informed decision, to make sure that the majority decision do affect real life. In other words, if them vote back PNM, their decision, although I didn't vote for the PNM, and I'm not voting for the PNM, their decision means the PNM in my preference, and I'll take it because of the decision they make. So everybody has to suffer based on individual decision. That's why unity is strength. And it's either something is right, something is wrong. Let me hear what you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have to say. Make it short and sweet, though. The lines are open. The numbers to call 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Or send us a WhatsApp voice note. Where the voice notes, time will come that we'll be playing just voice notes. At 366-3053, 366-3053. But for those of you that don't want to send a voice note but want to call WhatsApp, you can give us a call. It's a calling segment right now, and the number to calling is the same voice note number, 366-3053. That's the WhatsApp number. Good morning, and what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Morning, gentlemen. Morning, gentlemen. Calling from the Barakpur here. Gentlemen, you see, every single thing that's happened in the last 10 years, we always got sidetracked. And we would have blamed Erla, we would have blamed Heinz, we would have talked about Imbert, and all kind of distraction we would always get ourselves caught up in and focus our attention on that. But let me tell you something, Rowley feel that how he could slip out of the back door easily and get out of the fire and go and retire and be back on the beach, going and feeding the ram goat and the nanny goat and all kind of things. But if Rowley feels that's going to happen, that is going to happen on my watch. Good day until I have breath in my body. Rowley's name is going to be called in every circle that I possibly can to ensure that people remember what failure looks like, what it sounds like, what it smells like. And I don't think there's a human being on this earth could try to be a failure like Rowley and succeed like how Rowley did it without even being conscious. And you have to remember, if you as a captain on a team, you were looking to pick nobody better than you so that you could lose being the captain. So when you go back and you check the selections of the people Rowley selected for his government, every one of them was failures just like him. So they couldn't come and challenge him in any way or means or way. Because remember, Rowley defended everybody who failed in every ministry. That's how he placed them there. He never ever say, hey, hear what, this person really ain't perform how they're supposed to perform and give the result the country look at. He always say they're good, they do the best, because that's his standard. He is a failure. So people will, okay, look, the simplest comparison is with Erla Christopher and Gary Griffith. Who made this election? Who is the man who was instrumental in getting rid of Gary Griffith and putting Erla? Not Rowley. So people would want to think that, okay, fine, he's the thing. And let me tell you something. We in this country, we deserve what we get. Because we didn't like somebody who was charming, somebody who was charismatic, somebody who focus and compose in the way they think and they execute their duties. They would make decisions that would be calm and subtle and carry it out. If somebody falter in a ministry, she would make a big bacchanal and thing. She will say, hey, here was the scene. You have to exit this ministry, go and clear your name or whatever you have to do, and show the population that how you went guilty of no wrongdoings and all this kind of thing. We didn't like that kind of operation. We didn't like education. We didn't like development. We didn't like economic prosperity. We like rah-rah-rah-rah. That's what we really like. All the dotish, all this at geometry, all this, that, that's what we really like. That is hyper we up in this country. We wanted a government like that to tell children, all the go out on take it out on the pavement, all the fight like hyenas and all these kind of dotishness. That is what we like in this country. So we get 10 years of that. I hope that the people who is focus-minded in this country and want to see a better tomorrow give the support that this next government need to bring back Trinidad and Tobago where it's supposed to be. It had no debating, it had no concern. Them idiots and them who is calling and try to defend the dotishness of Rowley and his government, let them continue doing that. You can't change the stripes on a zebra. It would always be that same striped zebra. So dotishness, they don't know cure for that. Let them remain there. Let them remain going for example sender and claiming the children's body and who's a good boy and who's a good girl and all this kind of thing. Let them continue doing that. But to live in a better place and to have a better country, we have to take the lead and to put that in operation. Give the UNC and Kamala Prasad Bisasa the support she needs, and we might see a better future for Trinidad and Tobago. Have a good morning, gentlemen. And again, don't blame nobody. Rowley is the biggest failure ever passed through the history of this Trinidad and Tobago. He failed in everything. It looked like he even failing in a marriage too. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Take care.
Thank you very much. And while I say thank you very much, let me acknowledge one time. Hey Dave, a pleasant good morning to you. Hey Sing, all of you, Primraj, all of you, a pleasant good morning. Leon Charles, Grace Caesar. Fred Mohammed, a good morning. Hoodie. Eddie Souza, good morning to you. Jill Monroe, good morning. Richard Young. Lucky Lal, a pleasant good morning to you. Richard Jamaraj, Samantra, good morning. Bomati, good morning to you. Durat Mohan, a pleasant good morning. Marilyn Sitaran, Job, good morning. Wilfred, good morning. Clifford, good morning. Clifford say Andy and Lennox, like you all suspend Mickie K like earlier what? I was say we ain't do that. Why ain't call Mickie K and ask him that? Call he. Go ahead, let's go. I don't know, like it's the PNM support suspend Mickie K. Not the Pitbull, not Lennox Smith. It's Stewart and Rowley them suspend he.
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Let's continue here. Oh boy. Fatso, good morning. Nadira, good morning. Hey Merlin, good morning. Armstrong, good morning to you. Ramdu, good morning. Moses, good morning to you. Raj, good morning. Alan Hercules, a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. Audrey, like Greenwich, good morning to you. Vidya, all the videos, good morning to you all. Tommy, good morning. Oh boy. While trying to move there, let's run into Roger, Bernadette, all of you. Damian, good morning to you all. If I miss anybody, well, just running through there very quick. Nicholas, a pleasant good morning to you. Yeah, it's all about acknowledging you all. The Hulk, rah! Good morning to you, the Hulk. Betty, a pleasant good morning to you. Mike, good morning, Mike. Oh boy. Mira from Princestown, good morning. Yo, good morning to you, Yo. Hey, Selwyn Batista, pleasant good morning to you. Roger Mohammed, good morning. Janet, good morning to you. And it's to make sure that you, the people that look onto us and guile Trinidad and Tobago, guile the Caribbean, that y'all can get us from 6 in the morning. All you have to do is look on to Real Media TT on Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube, Corridor Transformation, Workers' Rights Platform, and all these various platforms. You don't have to wait till 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock to be a part of the program. You can be a part of the program just having social media. Watch the hundreds that are already locked on. Watch it. Oh boy, done soon, good morning. And all of you, that's the most I can reach besides the new people that maybe come on. because it's only a certain amount I can get at this point in time. But I want to acknowledge you, all of you, the patriots. Soju, and also through all of you. Roll, Prasad, good morning. All of you, a pleasant good morning, man. Nice to reach all of you. And all of you that realize what's going on and now saying hi, that I may not be able to, like Michael GP, I didn't call you a pleasant good morning to you. US Bird, hey, let me say a pleasant good morning to Small Dread and his wife. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. Laverne Ash, that's my darling. That's the lady that the PNM government killed she child. The boy takes so long. This is Miss Laverne. So long to get diagnosis. He end up in Guyana to get diagnosis, boy. When that time reaches, too late for the healthcare system in this country bad. Good morning to you, Laverne. Batson, a good morning to you. Nice, I all who might be now come on after. But hey, let's get on to more other serious business. Yeah.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang, bang,
Tell a friend to tell a friend that there's no other, so don't even bother. And the number one choice should be the Ground Report program. Yours through the Pitbull of Radio, Lennox Smith and the Mighty K. So let's continue. The lines are open. It's a call-in segment, as Lennox Smith said. It's a very interactive program. You won't get that type of interactiveness within Lennox program or Mikey program. The Ground Report is different. It's unique. It's the mother that lead the charge in many ways over the years. Have always stick and stand with the challenge of fighting for better Trinidad and Tobago, because each and every one of us agree that we deserve to live better, that we want to live better. Ask the property tax, ask that the merit list, ask this piping, taxing, thieving, spranging government. Ask them to.
Bang, bang, bang.
We must make government work for the people rather than have the people work to keep a government in place. We must make government work for the people rather than have the people work to keep a government in place.
You must develop a sense of self-reliance. You must develop a sense of confidence. And you must know and remember that parliamentarians are your servants and that you are the lords of the land. And so I ask you to put your hand on your heart, every one of you, and shout after me, I am the government!
I am the government!
Louder, I am the government!
We are the government!
I am the government!
You are the government! And it's that!
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Now let's get those calls. You gotta stick with the front burners of we. What's your front burner? What you bringing to the table for we to be able to continue to educate our people? The direction in our country is going under this government and they need to go. Not everything we gonna know, you will know some things too. So the lines are open. The numbers to call is on the screen. Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you. Where you calling from and what's your contribution on the ground report this morning? And let's welcome our Guyal family throughout Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean and everybody that are locked on.
Morning, Andy Williams, Dr. Lennox, and Mickie K. Good morning. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, worldwide. Greatest the PNM. Greatest Trinidad and Tobago. Greatest Trinidad and Tobago. And we shall prevail. That is my message for the morning.
Thank you so much. Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from and what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning to the magnificent tree. I'm calling from Stanley Grandy. And I want to put something to rest. Let me tell you something. Trinidadian doesn't have to be distracted on any issue, how to vote or not to vote. We as Trinidadians make up in a certain type of way. We vote on race. That is the number one factor in Trinidad and Tobago. Since I know myself growing up as a little nigger boy, I know race is the issue of the day. Because I have some friends who is PNM until they're dead. Some of them ain't moving at all. You know what one of my partner tell me? He say he know the country going bad. PNM doing real stupidness in the country, but he don't want Canada. He rather the white man come back and run here. Maybe we are understanding what race is, and when something embezzling people's head, like you take a nail and you mark vote PNM on it, and they pound the nail down inside the head. They don't want to move. I have a brother who he getting pension, and I tell him, I say, boy, you find this country going good, 8 years you will get pension. He said, boy, I satisfied because PNM put on $500 on the pension. I said, when that happened? I said, so you know, it's Canada put on $1,500 on the pension. You saying Rowley put on $500. What's wrong with you, boy? He said, as far as he know, PNM put on $500. It ain't easy when you have people have race in the head, brother. So there's no distraction making PNM in power. It's racial segregation and people don't want to hear. But it have a time when they just change and they just say, well, enough is enough. And they will vote on PNM. So you just have to wait until that time come again, and they will surely vote up PNM. Maybe this is the time. And I will tell you something again before I go. You see the two Tobago seat right now? That's really important. Because the two Tobago seat will have PNM in power right now. And if the PNM lose that two Tobago seat, and Kamala and then continue on the trend what it is today, what I don't know is yellow is the code. But we have to be serious and we have to be strong, because you see the evil around me, boy, it ain't easy. So we have to be strong because the closest one to you have to get it in there. Because look at some sisters who I get them to change. And right now, them I want to hear Rowley, and them was a real PNM. And them say, you see, from to now, we voting for Kamala. So we who are wrong and know have to be driving it home. Not only talking about all this program, we have to walk the street. We have to be in the taxi. We have to be in the bus. We have to be on the aircraft. We have to be on the boat. We have to get it. Small man who love the party, the UNC, had to talk, had to preach, and push it in their head. And then we go make the change. Good morning to you, gentlemen. So we who are wrong and know have to be.
Go ahead, next caller. Morning. Next caller. Morning caller. Call back, caller. Call back. Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from and what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Lennox, and good morning, Mickie. This is Krishna here. I tell you already, Since this man went local to rob this zombie, it affecting the country bad. The government has collapsed right now. And the government collapsed. Listen what I'm telling you. So this alone could show you this man appoint Earl as the acting commissioner. Right? He come, he gives you a year again. What taking place? So you Rowley take the blame. Because you appointed her. You put everything in this woman. And this woman failed the country right now. Yes, she failed the country, acting commissioner of police. So Rowley is a local share. The government collapse. Call a general election. No, Rowley, your whole regime failed. 2.6 billion missing. Can't give an account. Some people in some board to find them dead. Nobody can answer them thing. What the Minister of National Security saying, Andy? He's not failing at two boy. This country in a mess. I don't care what nobody say. You see, look at the John Bida man work in Tobago. That was affecting the country today. All kind of mayhem, all kind of thing taking place. Right? Rowley, the wicked, deceitful, Obeah lying Prime Minister. Contra Andy, stinking Prime Minister locked on.
Thank you, caller. What's your contribution? Next caller on the ground report this morning.
Andy, morning, Lennox. Andy, I want the listeners to hear what I have to say here. The last election when Rowley went and he asked the EBC for the extra hour and he was given it. After that, Andy, and he won, right? He won the election. I want the people to realize how Rowley ended up doing what he wanted. He realized he could do what he wants, and like he told his cabinet members, we could do what we want, only do what all they want. Because they will get away with it. Because they have nobody to account to. And I only hope that this election now, they realize that it will have circumstances if Rowley and they win this time. Because if the second time they won, Rowley do not the one, they do not the one handy. What will happen if they win this election? Thank you.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Go ahead, next caller. Pleasant good morning to you. What's your contribution in the number one program, The Ground Report, this morning?
Yes, Andy. Mickie K, Lennox Smith. Trinidad and Tobago Central here. Good morning. Thank you very much, Andy. Watch now. Hear what I'm telling on here. Trinidadians, PNM, this wicked, corrupted, nasty, thief-lying government could make your whole head and set up put out all here in your head. Hear what I'm telling on here. Oh, God! Them people could lie. These people is mama guy. Them people could thief. Oh, my God! It is the worst Trinidadians. Only when you come out and demonstrate and tell you push the government, I let them know. We need a day for an election. Let me put whatever differences aside and let these people know, long story short, we need a day for a general election in this country. Because here what's going on. Enough is over and enough in this country. And here we're telling on a good road to all you. They're going to have to put a platform around Andy Mickie and not and let them know. They deserve the medals. Here we're telling all here. You see them kind of demonstration and bring forth in towards people in this country who know this and that and the other. You know what I'm telling you? That's such a corrupted people running these places in high position. Or there is enough in this place, you know. You know what I'm telling you? That and you tell him headless right now. You tell him 2, 4, 5 pure water for 5. No opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And then you tell him to pour water on himself and still say, great is what? Great is nothing. Because PNM brings nothing equals nothing. Trinidad and Tobago, let's see what's going on now, boy. When are you waiting? Are you waiting for this place to blow up or some kind of thing? They don't go understand. You know we should have already come out and already demand something. Why you only just for this sale? Let me come out right ready. You want to ready, what a century already. They're out and bad any day and any time. You want to tell them already and the day. People have to understand the seriousness what's going on out here right now. If this system of the TTPS could be so corrupted, Trinidadians. Tell me who saw the trust are doing. You telling me when you go and you make a report of something before you cover the station, you know you make report on them that you already. Oh no, when you going on in this place, people in high position, what is doing on the clip, it is alleged. All over social media it's showing. You understand what I say? Why are we waiting on action? Let's have that question this morning. What we waiting on this morning to come out and demand for a general election in this country? I tell you again, PNM done there waiting to be very reckless forgotten in this country. When they come in front of the place, run them like a dog. Remember and tell them, I was there for 10 years. There's nothing on bring to the table. So we are what going on. We let them know yellow all the way. We are going the other way. Yellow is the code. And it's that.
Thank you so much. Next caller, pleasant good morning to you. Where you calling from and what's your contribution this morning on the Ground Report program?
Morning, Andy. Morning, gentlemen. Calling from Port of Spain. Andy, I want to find out. No, I don't have anything wrong with I don't like to hear this thing where people say that is a problem for somebody selling water on the road. Right? Because for me, these people are making an honest living. They come just like somebody is selling in the market. They are making an honest living. The nutsman on the highway is making an honest living. So what you are trying to say? Don't sell no water. Leave it for the conglomerate to make all the money. Don't sell no nuts. Leave it for the conglomerate for them to make all the money. When I can make money for myself, it comes just like the Spanish. The Spanish and them take it upon themselves to do what? They come here to try and make a better living. That they are on the road. They saw the opportunity and they are selling their thing on the road. They're planting chips and mostly every day they are selling out. And when you watch a cat, I show as $20 for one, $10 for one. Sometimes I show that one of them things is over $500 and each one of them that sell out almost every single day. They saw opportunity to where they could make money. Why are the Trinidadians not seeing the opportunity and trying to follow? Well, not even follow. They are the ones that were supposed to do it in the first place than having all these conglomerates trying to make money where they should try and make money for themselves. So you see when some people say that, oh, it's this thing about selling water on the road, these people are self-employed. It comes just like they're just not in a market or wherever, they're on the road where they can sell and see a way to make money. And if some of these young people don't want to, just like come like they say, oh, people, they wiping windows and they hustle, they're just trying something. They're just trying something to make an honest dollar. Right? They come like a hustle. Them come just like a PH car trying to hustle people on the road to try and make an honest dollar. So when people bashing these fellas on them who on the road, I find that is wrong. These people are trying to make an honest living. Right? Yes, because the times are hard. They can't go in and get no jobs. So they try to hustle on the road. They try to may not have no passes. They may not want to go and work for people. So they come just like a man planting the garden and he going and selling the market. It's an honest self-employed. And stop whatever she name is who was calling loud. They go stop bashing the people. I just say all they want to think, but I find it is wrong and all they stop it. The people are making an honest living. That is the thing I doesn't like sometimes. It's when people try self-employed and trying to make an honest, don't bash them. That's what the people don't want to do. Don't say about PNM making people to sell on the road. Well, then don't sell in the market. Leave all the provision and things to go in the supermarket and make money. That's how I look at it. People making an honest living, leave them alone. They ain't bothering nobody. They just asking you, is either you buy or you don't buy. But don't interfere with people and them and saying, oh, the PNM had them selling on the road. The PNM had them selling on the road. They choose as they want to make their living. Rasta people don't work for nobody. And all people know that them Rastafari like to work for they're self-employed. They come out and they sell the nuts on the road and people buy. That is how they make it. Don't bash nobody who sell on the highway. People and them who come in and selling their little provision and hustling the season and thing on the highway, they're making an honest living. They ain't thieving or nothing. Please, don't bash the people and them there. They're making an honest living. They hustling on the road, they hustling. If you choose to buy, you buy. If you don't choose to buy, but leave the people there. They're taking the little risks on the highway itself because that is a risk, but that's the risk they choose to take. Right? That is all I have to say this, Andy. I'm sure everybody enjoyed it.
Nice. It's calls after calls. Morning call. Where you calling from? What's your contribution on the Ground Report this morning? Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning. What's your contribution? What's your front burner? Why are you riding on what's mine? Go ahead.
Yeah, morning. All them people talking about them Spanish here making an honest dollar and talking about plantain chips. It's not like people doing the same thing, but you're not even acknowledging it. The black people just be there selling the nice little soft drink and water and thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Understand? Won't win.
Yes.
Well, they say the person, but when all you see a lighter skinned person doing it, now they're doing good, they're doing an honest living, or they don't see all their own, or they don't encourage all their own. That's the thing.
Okay, caller, thank you very much. Next caller. Morning, caller, where you calling from? What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Yes, and so central here again, I'm talking slower because a lot of people like them misinterpreting what I'm saying. So I call back to confirm, to clear the air of what it is this person was just saying. Let me say it to you because apparently I just turn up my volume and some of them just can't hear me like the caller was just called just from
the voice notes, there's more come across clear.
Yes, I know that one. I know that for sure. Yeah. Because the PNM trying something on this one as well too now, but I can't get through. What God does, no man curse. Going forward, let me call out the caller's statement. Let me tell you something, caller. I'm a person that's helped from the youngest to the middle age to the oldest in this country. Right? If you know something, ask a question, you will get the correct answer. I gave 2 individuals a certain amount of money already to start something of their own.
Alright, but don't talk too close to the phone.
Alright. Nice. And nobody have no problem here. Anybody who making an honest dollar, kudos to them. Don't want to yourself and say about, so we trying to bash somebody. Nobody trying to bash nobody. We have a government running this country. And I had interviewed a few of them well. And the word was from them out was they have no opportunity arising towards the qualification that them have. And the amount of qualification these individuals and them have, I doubt very much that the government could be paying them right about now. We're talking about 7 and 14 subjects, A-levels and O-levels. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody is bashing nobody here because they misunderstand what it is somebody is saying. I say young people at that age bracket supposed to then be in a proper order. You understand? Nothing wrong with that. Because I always give kudos so when you see somebody doing something right in this country, the right thing will always be right and the wrong will always be wrong. Listen, it's better to do that than go and get yourself in problem. So do you don't want to yourself and misunderstand? The fellas and them who even wiping the glass on them, kudos to them too. Because each one I partner on that side, I don't need the glass to wipe. I will even still stop and give them something so that they will not drink something. Because it's all about love and unity in this country. But we have people in position who don't have that to the citizen in this country. So that's why we have to say there's no future in front of them. It is a shame to know that the PNM government not providing anything to the younger generation, which is them is the future. You understand? Nobody can say that it is a problem selling water or planting chips or whatever the case is. If the Spanish and them choose to come and do what they want to do, and you know to yourself there's a lot of them come here illegal and doing a lot of illegal stuff, they're going to stop the guy itself. We deal with real abiding citizens. Just yesterday I spoke to one of the guys. You understand? Give him a 200 and say you bless up yourself. When I buy some more water, I like to see what I see in there. You understand? Coming here line, thanks very much. I bless you, I bless you. I said, it's small thing, man. When you have a give more, just come to you. I said, but my problem is to know that only you have an opportunity in this life to say, you see how much I went and apply all over? Trim they're going over there, listen up. They say they went all over and apply. And all of them
you ain't coming across too clear. I ain't gonna lie, you know. You just coming, you're not really coming across clear. You hear it? Yeah,
Understand. So let me make it short and sweet now, Andy. Long story short is, nobody is bashing on youth on the outside here. Them is the generation, the future ahead of. When people misunderstand what you're saying on this nice, solid, educated program, they need to ask a question and then come and say what I have to say. Don't just run up yourself and say something. These people want to live better in this country, and we have people who want to see the youth trying to live better. So when you run away with that out of time and talk, and if you have a problem with my voice, sir, what God bless, as I said, no man curse. This phone will be brand new back sometime again very soon. So Andy alone will be loud, better and clearer next time. You understand? So all we are saying is, PNM have no future for the youth and them. So just remember, all of them who doing the thing at the right way, I should say, at the end of the day, kudos to them. Right? At the end of the day, nobody is bashing nobody here. So you also show PNM done fail, and there's nothing PNM providing to the youth standard. So yellow is the code, and it's that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, Miss Central. Any more calls? Any more calls on the number one program, The Ground Report? Okay, let me make way. What's your contribution on this number one program this morning, The Ground Report? And I'm going to say a pleasant good morning to those of you that are locked onto us on Guile, the Trinidad and Tobago, and on Guile, the Caribbean. A pleasant, I know we all was out about 5-10 minutes ago just today, but you all back on and running because it will be very hard for you all to miss your favorite program or the number one program when it comes to current affairs and the politics and the way that this government treating the people of Trinidad and Tobago or the country in disdain. Go ahead, caller. Good morning to you.
Good morning again, Pitbull. Barack Pro here. You see the kind of contributions people make? I just had to respond. Although I know I don't need to respond because we are dotation this country. Now Central talk about the misunderstanding. They misunderstand nothing. Them know exactly what their agendas are, especially like the one from Port of Spain and thing. They would call with all kind of zigzag story to try to defend failure. Because that's what the leader teach them to do. Failure is success in this country. So no matter what they do, they would come, anybody say anything about illegal or not working honest day work. But if you have a choice to eat a banga or an apple, which one you go choose? The banga to break up your teeth, or you go choose the apple? And that is simply what is taking place in this country. You have a government, the opportunities for the youth and them in this country to eat banga rather than have apples in their plate. And I will give a few examples because I don't come with stupid talk, I just come with facts. To get the apple, Kamala provided the drilling school for young people to go and learn drilling because we have our energy sector. She provided an aviation school for the young people to go and learn to fly plane and things so they will have the apple to eat. She provided the UTT for people to better their education to get opportunities all over. She had the agriculture plan growing for the people who not so qualified to get into that sector. She made it available for people who didn't have like certification in electrical, because we know it have plenty electricians who just do electrical, they have a certificate, plumbers, all these craft men them who just learn. She made it accessible for so them they could go and do an aptitude test and become certified. So now they could go and instead of paying a bribe to T&Tech to get a wiring license for your home and thing when they do that, they could go now because they're certified. All these was opportunities that the last Kamala government provided. So we wouldn't have fellas working hard in the day, 16, 17, wiping people windscreen, and you calling that an honest day work. Something had to be wrong with all you. A man going and buy a case of water for $20 and selling it to make $1 profit whole day on the streets, and you talking about honest living, something had to be wrong with all you. Because all the mentality is the hustling type mentality. Leaving your home in the morning and going to what people would say, hey, I'm going to work, I'm going to my job. That never come across all your vocabulary under the regime that all you support. All your vocabulary under the regime, all your supporters are going to make a hustle this morning. Let me see if I can go and sell three bottled water, 3 cases of bottled water. Let me go and see how much windscreen I could wipe. And that's the mentality. All I want to defend. Rather than, yes, what's the opportunity where all your government, PNM government provided for all you. A dump in the heart of the entrance to your city so that the whole other area they could go and work and scavenge. That is the opportunity all your PNM provided for all you. And it could go on and on. You understand? That's why I say Rowley created the most amount of employment in this country on the highways in Trinidad and Tobago. So they could name all the highway from Arima to Carnage to Point 14, the Keith Christopher Recruitment Highway. That's the legacy here, because anywhere you go now on the highway, the only thing left now that you see on the highway, man with a barbarian chair doing haircut and thing on the highway. Just now you see man walking with jack and compressor, pulling out man tire and replacing, fixing it and all this kind of thing. That's where we're going to. Because first, all you used to see is a man hustling a little water on the highway. You might see a man selling a little fruits. Now they're selling car parts, wiping windscreen. Even them now control a whole industry selling corn, planting chips. Anything, guardian, anything you want now you get on the highway. So you don't need to go to the market. And that is the mentality them have. So don't misunderstand them. They know exactly what they're saying. But again, that is the way how they could defend failure. They don't want to come out and say, hey, this man had 10 years and he did nothing. He's a waste of time. He's a big load of gobar. They can't come out and say that because they, like a caller just say, the racist identity have to identify with that. If they go against that, they go find like they're betraying the tribe and they're against it. So they would rather to sink and let the whole country sink to just defend that rather than be a man and come out and say, hey, this have nothing to do with racism. It have nothing to do with culture, lifestyle, and it have to do with making a tomorrow and Trinidad and Tobago a better place. With the kind of resources this country have, let me tell you something. When people want the wiper clean in this country, they could have kicked out the windscreen and go and buy a new one instead of have it wiped. That's the kind of resources this country had. Not to have man deal with a squeegee broom wiping your windscreen and hustling at $2 for that. No, mister. You misunderstand nothing. Accept your stupidity of your government to support. Have a good morning again, Pitbull.
Thank you very much, caller. Mr. Purple. Hey, Willie P. Good morning to you. A lot of new people. And Mr. Pleasant, good morning to the Guile family that are back up and running. Good morning to you. June Jackson, good morning. Dansoon, what's up, girl? Yeah, hustling on the highways, no employment. They create a bunch of hustlers because they ain't getting nothing. But again, I just respect it. I'd rather you go on the highway and hustle than come by my house. Or come by my car or put a gun to me to take what I work for. So whether you making $1 profit or whatever, which Barpo is totally right. There is no money compared to the money that has been thrown away. I don't hustle $1 on every... Come on now, man. But it just in short and sweet when the man listen, and you all know there is no hustle, there is choppiness, which is truth. But I also understand the other people claims on that, which is I only understand it based on I rather you on the highway hustling than you come with a gun to hustle me. Let's go to the line. Let's go to the lines. What says thou, Trinidad and Tobago? What's on your front burner this morning? Like Lennox Smith was waiting for you to come back to just disappear. Eh? What the hell is wrong with them, boy? Right, let me take this call. Morning, caller.
Hello.
Yes,
yeah,
caller.
Morning again.
Morning to you.
Greatest Trinidad and Tobago, and we shall prevail. Yellow is the code. Thank you.
That's it. That can't sell dress so. Yellow is the code, and why? Ah, boy, well, we all saying it, you know. But don't sell it, so that's how PNM they sell the thing. Short change. Yellow is the code, but all who they say yellow is the code and it's that. They give reasons why, you know. Because we don't lead nobody down no blind road. And if yellow is the code, playing the fool when they get in there. Because we all should be supporting the UNC based on their past governance for this country. Whether some people say the thief, I go say the thief, but I was sharing. But this one ain't thieving. And if this one thieving the sharing, come on now, man.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Come on, callers, before I go to voice notes. Time check. It's approximately 1 minute past the hour of 9 o'clock. You're listening to the Ground Report. Yours truly, the pitbull of radio, holding down the fort. Morning, caller.
Morning, Professor Andy, Assistant Professor Mickie, and Lennox Smith. The JAMPRO are going to talk about the JAMPRO buying diesel fluid, low sulfur diesel fluid out of Jamaica. You know what that deal has tell us? That deal has finally told us the LTT, the lion taxing thieving government, has finally admitted that Malcolm Jones et al. And the Czars of Trinidad and Tobago basically was doing contracts and projects to thief Trinidad money. Because how come Jamaica can have a low diesel sulfur plant operational and we cannot have it, and we have 100 years of so-called energy expertise? All this jazz, the pontification, Jones et al., they thief our money because we still can't find it from the Malcolm Jones, the old WTL2, you know. And it have a fellow named KCR went and invest in Naikwan. Will he be going back to Naikwan to uncut the ribbon that he cut to get rid of sulfur? Because he had 50 million to spend, so he could have another photo ops to do that. So what that tells me is that a couple of things. They have admitted to us, just like the scandal for all them Bayanara project. And remember the horse racing complex? They wanted to build a horse racing because we never hear who take all our money and go with it. So this is another one with the Malcolm Jones. Take all the money. We know they're going with it, and then we know it's taxpayers' money. We want to know how we getting back with taxpayers' money for the poor investment small pin made in Naikwan and all of them, and KCR. But more importantly, let me tell you why they had to get a 6-month contract they're saying. That is to keep all them boats who they didn't have fuel for just before election. To tell we from tomorrow, you see the Coast Guard patrolling the borders, 8 patrols per day because they have fuel now. You tell me they're buying fuel to sell to who? Who they're going to sell to? That fuel is only for Trinidad, because all them boats who coming into Trinidad already know Trinidad is in a place of decline, and they can't depend on Trinidad to get anything based on our government. So them boats coming, all them cruise ship and things, then they don't have the contingency plan to fuel outside because they come to Trinidad. They come to Trinidad and can't get fuel. So that is, they cannot buy and resell and make a profit. He's lying to us. So we have to prosecute them who getting all that cutback, that 10% overall cutback. And we have to go back after Malcolm Jones and all his assets where all the family get, and we have to go over the who KCR and all of them invest in to keep and take we money from Naikwan. I'm going to have a nice morning. I real vex when I hear that. I got.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Nice, nice. Very good contribution. And let me say pleasant good morning to Quiet Mystery. Yes, yes, yes. Also to I I see somebody say that they're going and eat sarabake and something they sow by so. Don Lopez, good morning. All of you that are looking on social media, June, all of you. The various platforms. Real Media TT Facebook, Real Media TT YouTube, Corridor Transformation, Workers' Right Tracks platform, all of you. What that gentleman is saying there, he is so right. So right. This government make Trinidad and Tobago a whole. Yes. Imagine this now, boy. Them close down a refinery. And then the situation with we the people of Trinidad and Tobago now, boy. We is a laughing stock. All you understand with a laughing stock? Guyana, Caribbean, Trinidad, or everybody, or some of them now joining us. Watch and listen to why we are a laughing stock right now. The mighty Trinidad and Tobago have fallen again under the taxing, lying, thieving, piping, spranging, ungodly, wicked, bullyish PNM government. Trinidad and Tobago people, we deserve to live better. We want to live better. And we need to get rid of the PNM. Watch what they have we into. Watch and listen.
Newsletter at getmoneynews.com. That's getmoneynews.com. Comment the newsletter and I'll send you the link. Let's get this money.
Let's get this money.
Jamaica exporting fuel oil to Trinidad?
For the first time ever, Jamaica Petrojam is exporting fuel to Trinidad and Tobago. And to that we're looking to 1 million barrels of fuel oil, valued at about 90 million US.
Did he just say 1 million barrels? That's Telroy Morgan, the general manager at Petrojam, Jamaica's oil refinery. Now, Jamaica actually doesn't produce oil, but Trinidad does. So this announcement took me completely by surprise. But apparently, petro trading has been down since like 2019.
Trinidad, who has oil, their refinery shuttered about 6 years ago, and so they have been imported. But over those many years, Petrojam has been trying to get in, so to speak, and it has finally happened.
Well, that explains Trinidad's foreign exchange issues. They produce oil, but they don't refine it anymore, so they're exporting it raw and about to buy it back refined from Jamaica. Apparently, this batch is some special marine fuel, though.
It's a fuel mainly for marine vessels, tankers.
But still, the optics. In my opinion, this signals a power shift in CARICOM, which has been at least 10 years in the making. And that's probably why, according to Telroy, this deal took so long. I think Trinidad didn't want to do it. Now, Trinidad and Jamaica have always been competitors, and the Trinities are going to hate me for saying this, but these last 10 years, Trinidad's economy has been on the decline, while Jamaica has been improving. One of the major issues with doing business in Jamaica, especially for manufacturers, has always been the high cost of energy. Trinidad has always had that advantage. But are the roles now reversing? Remember my Taking Stock interview with Marla Dukaran? She's an economist from Trinidad who was explaining their foreign exchange issues.
The energy sector has not been earning the kind of foreign currency that it used to, say, let's say back in the 70s, 80s, even back up to 2013. We're earning a lot less now for a couple of reasons. One is the international price of these commodities, but also because of our production being very weak.
Wow, this really explains a lot. And then, of course, you have the new kid on the block when it comes to oil, Guyana. They're exporting barrels by the millions now, to the point where their government is literally giving away money to babies.
Our government will provide a one-off grant of $100,000 for every newborn baby born in Guyana to a Guyanese mother.
And you can see the conversions here. That's about 75 KJMD, 3,200 TTD, or 477 US dollars. Must be nice. By the way, Guyana doesn't have a refinery either, so that's also an opportunity for Jamaica and Petrojam. Anyway, to wrap this all up, the power dynamics in CARICOM are changing. As investors in this region, you need to make note of these shifts so you can spot the opportunities and the risks. And that's the bottom line. Follow our business page at Money Media GA for more content like this, and subscribe to the newsletter at getmoneynews.com. That's getmoneynews.com. Comment the newsletter and I'll send you the link. Let's get this money.
Let's get this money.
Oh, you believe that? Believe it or not, here I comes. I saw it is in this country, Trinidad and Tobago now. Don't matter what corner in. It's believe it or not, here I come. Hey, boy. That is how bad it is. What's your thoughts? Let me take a few more calls before I go to the lines, Before I play those voice notes, I have a lot of people voice notes that need to be played. What's your contribution on the ground report? Thanks, Nadira. Oh boy, I hope that gets rectified.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.
Caller, go ahead, caller. Let's make it short and sweet. Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you. Caller, good morning. Next caller. Not hearing you. Next caller. So go ahead, caller. Good morning to you, caller. Good morning, caller. Go ahead, caller. Getting you now. I'm hearing you. You go ahead, caller. New caller. Go ahead.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to everybody who's on the line. Andy, I will vex right now, You see that? You see what you just saw on the television, Listen, I will angry, You telling me this ugly, bald-head, wicked, evil, nasty man. This is what this man do to our country. This man literally mash up the country, That's what the man do, The man mash up the place. Look, I go yes, I vex, I go. After what I just see, man, Andy, you stand in the streets, I gone.
Next caller, go ahead. A pleasant good morning to you. We're calling from. What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
I have been calling Mr. Andy. I just want to ask Mr. Lennox a question. I want to know, Mr. Lennox, you will know how that if he drug and grass did then, that's why now we have to put the tail between we leg and go to Jamaica. Is this the last resort, Mr. Smith? You give me a little reply on that, please. I'm waiting to hear from you, sir.
The lines are still open. I'm going to take a few more calls quick. Yes, I'm going to take a few more calls quick. Let me hear, before I go play some voice notes. Namaste, pleasant good morning to Tobago, Mother Bernie. Not forgetting Silver Fox, all of you out there. A pleasant good morning to you, my people in Tobago. And all of you, other than in Tobago, within the Caribbean, that are looking to us on Gaia the Caribbean. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. Don't forget to let everybody know to lock on to the Ground Report program.
Good morning.
Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from and what's
Good
your
morning,
contribution on the ground report?
calling from Bova, supporting what Donald Smith said about the refinery this morning and yourself, right? And the Minister of Energy, Stuart Young, last night saying that pioneer fuel will bring a profit, and that is not true. From 2018 to this present time, via the Freedom of Information Act, where Pioneer has not made a profit, they have lose money. So the minister had to deal with that. He had to deal with facts and not come and tell the people don't shoot. You understand? Apart from that, this Thursday and Friday is where the cabinet appointed the variation team will be looking at the bids, the 3 bids and this Friday here. So I am saying that we need to gather and give the send letters in support of patriotic bid being revalidated. Patriotic bid has to be revalidated. They cannot do what they're doing right now, right? So we still have a chance. There's still a window open where we could get letters and send to the various authorities that patriotic bid needs to be revalidated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Oh boy, let's go to other calls, man. Ah boy, in a little bit I'm going to play your voice notes. Silver Fox, all of you can also call back. Many of you who ain't get through because the lines are very, very busy. Very, very busy. It's thousands less watching us on social media and on Guile the Caribbean. Oh boy. Who else? Let me give you all 2 more minutes. Let me see if nothing coming in. Or should I organize now to go to the PNM other distraction? No, not a distraction, you know. Reality, these things is not distractions. These things is what's going on in real. Watch our next. If I play this, well, you go tell me there's a distraction? Eh? I want to know. What's this? Yeah, that is a distraction. That is where it's a distraction. But let's.
That conference has been because Akash one time where I use. As soon as Akash started asking you that question, the conference done. You realize that? Because Akash why?
I want to big him up too. At the end of the day, nothing we play as a distraction is the reality of the destruction of this PNM government. Akash, big up.
The guns and the center of this investigation, where are they now?
That matter is under investigation, and I am saying we choose to make no further comment on this matter.
You would have had this SSA matter didn't start today. At what point did Elliot Christopher go from being the Commissioner of Police to being someone who needed to be under investigation?
This matter is under investigation, and I wish to make no further comment on that matter.
Do you still have confidence in Susan Martin? She's now the face of several high-profile police blunders. I can name at least 4 off the top of my head. This one being probably the biggest. Should the public should still have confidence in Susan Martin as a Deputy Commissioner of Police? Do you still have confidence in her as a Deputy Commissioner of Police?
The Trinidad and Tobago Police is equipped with officers that are professional and committed to the role and function that they do, and therefore we continue to do what duties without fear of malice or
ill. DCC Susan Martin, one of those officers that you have confidence in, who's actually doing your job right now. This is a massive blunder.
And again, I want to make it absolutely clear that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service continues to do our duty without fear or favor, malice or ill will. And I thank you for that question.
Now, I have a concern with Regulation 11. This has to do with the guns. Where they say you come and you surrender your gun, okay, under Regulation 12. Let me read it for you. No person who surrenders any firearm, and I'm going somewhere with this is not just go here. This is going at people right now. Some wicked people. No person who surrenders any firearm, ammunition, or explosive during any period prescribed and otherwise in accordance with an order to surrender, no person shall be prosecuted under the Firearms Act or regulation for illegally purchasing, acquiring, or possessing such firearm, ammunition, or explosive. Certain weapons that you cannot have in your possession, you cannot acquire, and so on, but unless you have something called an FUL, the license. But there's another category of weapons, they're known as prohibited weapons. So no FUL, no commercial could sign a permit for nobody as a civilian to have. That is only for people in the protective services, okay? Bear along here with me. Now, we had that provision in our SOE way back in 2011, but we never implemented it. Because that, if you want to implement that again, you have to come to Parliament and pass a law by special majority vote. Because if you have a crime, possessing this prohibited weapon, you can't take away a crime. You cannot exonerate a criminal who had possession of a prohibited weapon by a simple regulation. So 11 is in effect a kind of gun amnesty. And what it does is unlawfully close down, fetter the discretion of the DPP under Section 90 of the Constitution. That section is one of those provisions to which Section 54(3) of the Constitution applies, which means it is deeply entrenched. You cannot change it by regulation. You cannot change it by simple, we call it Act of Parliament. Must be a special majority, two-thirds of the houses, the Senate and the House. Cannot do it under regulation. So tonight I ask this. Why did you include Regulation 11 to give what I'm calling a gun amnesty, which is to say, if you bring in the gun, the prohibited gun, it's all right, fellas, bye, nice, well done, good boy. Why did you put it there? Is there any senior government official under investigation for possessing a prohibited weapon? It might be a young person, or old person, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm asking, is there any investigation, government official, under investigation for possessing a prohibited weapon under the Firearms Act? And is this Regulation 11 is to ease them up and say, good boy, well done, bring it home, drop it on the desk. Who from the TTPS approved a permit to purchase this rifle? Who is the dealer who imported this automatic firearm and sold it to a senior official? So is this proposed Regulation 11?
Madam Opposition Leader, they say it's a government MP minister that had access to an illegal firearm. Madam Opposition Leader, we also seen recently who was the person that authorized, because we have a police commissioner that is still under investigation, although was cleared by the DPP, is still under investigation. Watch how everything linking all here. Watch. Me know if the person is a young person, or if the person is an old person, that is that senior minister that have possessions or had possessions of illegal weapons, that in order for anything like that to pass or for anybody to get away, it requires a special majority in Parliament. Other than that, anybody do anything or receive anything like that, breaking the law. Let's continue. We understand, madam, and everything is unfolding now. Her name Susan Martin is ringing a bell. And next one is everything just in a mess in this country. Continue, Madam Opposition Leader, and next to be Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
But aimed at helping senior officials, senior TTPS officials, gun dealers to evade prosecution for possession of this prohibited automatic firearm. My lawyers and I are looking at writing to the DPP formally about this provision because I suspect it is intended to protect some.
We also know, because we see it, who went into questioning about those rifles and went with a lawyer, a one Hadid, a gun dealer. Understand, Trinidad and Tobago, all you have to connect the dots. Please connect the dots. Continue, Madam Opposition Leader and next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Very high up office holders. So we will not let that go. We shall pursue it. I pledge to you tonight as a mother. I see your children as my own children. I want them to live in a safe nation filled with opportunities to grow and prosper. And this is why I say to you tonight, we must make sure when that bill is wrong, that we vote them out, every single one of them, every single one. So they're in shambles, they've lost their way. But they will come back and lie and try to mama guy and fool you again. Lie, cry, and mama guy. Don't get chained up this time. Don't get chained up again at all, at all, at all. And tonight I say, let's get rid of Imbert. Let's get rid of Camille. Let's get rid of every single one. Stuart Young, everyone, call them all. Every single one must go. And I want to tell you this. We have seen, and we must not forget, that the whole cabinet was responsible for the highest murder rates in our history. The whole cabinet was responsible for the highest food prices in our history. They are all responsible for the $3 billion that's still missing. And this is Prime Minister, as he told us, he said, the rich will get richer. Not one PNM MP stood up and said no to the 4%. But they stood up and said yes to the 47% increase on the back pay. And the higher pension, yes, they said they all agreed to that in their cabinet. Not one of these people rejected our SRC report for those increases. Not one of them said no to the property tax, remember that? So they're all complicit, Damien Rigel, they're complicit, they're all in this together, they were all in that together. They're all responsible for a mess. No matter how many plasters the PNM put on those sores, the scars are still there. The pain is still there. And the only way to get rid of that pain and suffering is to do what? Vote them out. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they send to lead the PNM on election day. All, I say it again, must go get that into your brain. All. Vote them out. What do we do? Vote them out. They're trying all the tricks in the book. Public is looking on. And all we can see watching this soap opera is how the mighty have fallen. What is in the darkness always comes to light. It is clear since the PNM lied and lied and lied to us. They said every nasty and destructive thing they could find to say about the UNC. Now it's all coming to light. All the lies. Nothing new to lie and accuse about. So they have no campaign. They have no campaign, because guess what? God don't sleep. And I know that once we work together and stay together, that we'll forward into this 2025 triumphantly into victory. The sun will rise again. The sun will rise again. God bless you.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang, bang.
Understand, Trinidad and Tobago, all what the opposition leader talk about is what's unfolding now, with a police commissioner being under well, not arrest, but detained for 2-3 days for one of the deputies commissioners to organize and go with the instruction of the DPP, who still turn around after and say, nah, they have nothing there to charge she. Everything is linking everything, and who can link that? All you can link nothing if you can link that. All you can link that? Listen before we take some more calls or play some voice notes. Listen.
Who gave the instructions to arrest Ula here with Christopher? Who signed off on that? Who gave the instructions to arrest Ula here with Christopher? Who signed off on that?
This is a matter that is under investigation at this time, and therefore, again, because it's a matter that is under investigation, we want to be very careful in terms of saying anything further on this matter.
But you should know who gave the instructions and what role did the DTP play in the investigation and the instruction to arrest? Walk me through the role that happened between then and now. Who gave that instruction to investigate and subsequently arrest the Commissioner of Police?
The DCCI is the one that is in charge of this particular investigation, and I think probably you can refer to the DCCI again for any further questions on this matter. But for now, we simply would say that the process and the investigation is ongoing, and we will continue to just again ask persons to allow the process to take its due course. Thank you much.
But I ask again, why wouldn't Ula Christopher get back into it? You had TCC's Martin facing charges and she was able to work as normal. There are no charges. Ula Christopher facing no charges. Why should she not be able to get her position back as Commissioner of Police?
I think that my answer remains, and it's important, my answer remains that this is a matter that is under investigation, and we will be very, very firm in taking our stance that we will allow the process to take place, and we will not comment any further.
What further information or evidence do you need against Ula Christopher? We were told on Saturday that there was insufficient evidence. What further evidence do you need to carry on this investigation?
I really appreciate that in terms of your question.
I'm not appreciating that.
I want to tell you at this point in time that the Ontario Police Service will remain focused in terms of the task that is ahead. And that task is to ensure greater stability of our officers, ensure that at this time that there's a healing process, and as we continue to do that, we will continue to ensure that all that is in place for the well-running of the police service, and our officers from Deputy Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner, and even our divisional commanders, we are all on board to ensure that the police service stand tall even in the midst of challenges.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Nice, I'm gonna just take a few more calls again. Be quick before I go to play those voice notes. Oh boy, because the phones are just ringing off the hook. Morning caller.
Calling from Sandy Grande,
Sandy Grande, go ahead, Sandy Grande.
Yes, Mr. Andy. Where this man was hiding all the time, the man can speak this commissioner, the DCP. Where they get he from, Tobago or Grenada?
Well, again, that's for you to go check us.
I 65 years this year. I 65 years this month today, Andy. August coming, I'll be 65 years. I never see that man as a policeman, as a inspector. I don't know what I get these kind of people to put for the government, for the police. This country, this country run a real dictators, boss. These people in government service can speak. My 5 years old son could speak better than he. Grandson. All the best, and the best. I'm glad you come back on the screen. That's it for you, sir.
Nice, no problem. Let's continue. Thanks so much for your contribution. Next caller, go ahead. Welcome to the Ground Report, the #1 program in Trinidad and Tobago. Go ahead, my brother.
Yes, I agree. It's the #1 program in Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to you, Andy Williams. Good morning to you, Lennox Smith. And good morning to you, Mickie K. Good morning to the listeners of the Ground Report. Andy Williams, how I see in this thing, Dr. Rowley gone in Parliament, and hello?
We are hearing you. Go ahead, my brother.
Hello? Yes. Rowley gone in Parliament and say the police and them sleeping in the police station and locking up the doors and them. The commissioner of police, Ola, she come out and say no and stand up against that and stand up with the police officers and them. What happened? Is the Costa Nostra working over there? Is it the Costa Nostra working? If you keep we secret and we bind together, everything will be alright. But if you expose us, we will kill you politically. Trinidad and Tobago, no way in the world a junior police could go and lock up the commissioner of police, charge the commissioner of police, and 3 days after, they have no evidence that was to set the commissioner of police free. Nowhere else in the world that has happened. It showed me, as a citizen of this country, the police service collapse, the government collapse, and if you don't take stock, citizens of this country, you will collapse too. We have to vote out this government. We have to tell Stuart Young, no, bye-bye Rowley, bye-bye Stuart Young too. Stuart Young tell the citizens of this country, he have plans for the police service. 10 years, you and Rowley administration, what you was advising him to do? What plans all you had for the police service? As you take it over, you have plans now. But citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. When George Chambers take over from Eric Williams, it's because Eric Williams is dead. Stuart Young, if you want to take over from Keith Rowley, you must do what Eric Williams did. And then let Stuart Young take over. Your family members must cry. I'm not saying we're doing anything. But you could go by the cemetery and wait until your time. And then let Stuart Young take over. You can't give Stuart Young prime ministership and nobody will vote for him. And we must accept that. We must accept that. Your mother and father didn't give you the parliament. Your mother and father didn't vote for you to be prime minister. Stuart Young alone they vote for you. The majority of the country vote for you. And the majority of the country have to vote for Stuart Young. Not one man give him the position. Well, if you like to put people in position and give people position, I business about that. But let the people vote for him. Thank you. Wrong reporter.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang, bang.
Understand Trinidad and Tobago and what we are seeing played off with people who don't obey to the winds and fans of this guppy and them dictative government. If they don't, who don't hear, go feel, and whoever only try to, they go get themselves in problems. It's the code of the Cushion Afra. It's a mafiosi code. We keep each other's secrets. It's about secrecy.
A code, a mafiosi code. We keep each other's secrets. It's only when you break rank, you go there and expose us, and after that, we're going to kill you politically. It's the code of the Cosa Nostra. Because as long as we stay together, we will survive together. And we agree not to breach the code of secrecy.
Just imagine Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is encouraging his supporters to follow the Mafioso Code and Cosa Nostra. What do they mean? The Mafioso Code and Cosa Nostra are closely related concepts rooted in the traditions of the Sicilian Mafia. Mafioso Code. The Mafioso Code refers to a set of unwritten rules and principles that govern the behavior of members within the Mafia. These rules emphasize loyalty, respect, and secrecy. Some key elements include omerta, the code of silence, where members are expected to never cooperate with authorities or reveal any information about the mafia's activities. Loyalty, absolute loyalty to the family and its members is paramount. Betrayal is met with severe consequences. Respect. Members must show respect to each other and to the hierarchy within the organization. Discretion. Members are expected to conduct their activities discreetly and avoid drawing attention to themselves or the organization. Cosa Nostra, which translates to our thing, is another name for the Sicilian mafia. It is a criminal organization that originated in Sicily in the 19th century and has since spread to other parts of the world, including the United States. The organization is structured into families or clans, each controlling a specific territory and engaging in various criminal activities such as extortion, protection rackets, and drug trafficking. The Cosa Nostra operates under a strict code of conduct, which includes the Mafioso Code. Members are often referred to as men of honor and are expected to adhere to the organization's rules and traditions. Is this the examples PM Rowley wants his followers to follow?
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.
Morning caller, where calling from and what's your contribution in the Ground Report this morning?
Morning, Silver Fox here, man.
Go ahead, Silver Fox.
I come back home, I have to come back home. Too much worries, boy.
Tobago always in the house and you are always welcome home. Even if you're deceitful, even if you're deceitful and all of a sudden you're on heavy program, this body program, everybody program, and the number one program. Every time I come back home. Welcome to the number one program, the Ground Report.
And the cartoons. Andy?
I take it. Yes, I have a lot of toll clothes. I taking it off the dead bodies of the PNM members of Parliament when we bury them.
Good morning, you are very post one man. Although me hearing from you, good morning, my brother. Good morning. And let me say something, Andy. I couldn't believe Trinidad and Tobago reached this stage in life. I couldn't believe Trinidad and Tobago reach a stage that become shameful, become laughable in the Caribbean here. We should have been like Dubai, but right now Rowley turned us into a place named Bye-Bye. I never say that. Just imagine. Look at what the police officers doing to their own. What they going to do me and you, Andy? Andy, what they will do to me and you if they're doing their own like that? It is shameful what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago. The union, the people, we cause all of that. We're not standing up for what is right. The union is not even making a headway to say, well, bring the people out. Bring the people out and let us call it, election be called. It's time for election. It's time for voting. It's time for us to be happy again. Or you just sitting down there and watching Rowley do all manner of evil. Or you're not standing up for nothing. The only thing you're standing for is carnival. And fete. This is not the time for it. This is the time for us to come out. This is the time for a change of government. We can't take no more. Just imagine billions of dollars missing with a minister, called Inbot, and we still sit down here, boy. What is wrong with the people of Trinidad and Tobago? All Carl Inbot want is we money but property tax and property tax. We are paying none in Tobago. Carl, we are paying none. Tell me where we money gone first before we pay. Because we got pay and we don't know where we money gone.
And before you go, I would like to know what's going on in the politics of Tobago at this point in time.
Well, we in Tobago we are getting back PNM no seat here. PNM done in Tobago. Down to the pensioners, not you can't go and tell pensioners in Tobago about PNM again, you know.
And who the people of Tobago going and give those seats to?
Boy, I still stand up. I go get backlash just now. I still standing up for Duke, right? I still standing for Duke. Although others go.
Why you standing for Duke? Why you standing for Duke and not Farley?
Let me say something to you. Now, Farley was PDP. Farley and Duke was in the same party, right? And they get their differences and they move away from one another, right? And I still stand up with the PDP. I stand in with the PDP. Now, what Farley should have done, I mean, I don't know, but I think he should have let the Tobagonians give them a mandate. Let us go back and say, well, if we want he alone or not. So we just can't go this way. It is not the right way. We are saying we are children of God, but we are doing the godly things that we're supposed to do, right? Others might find that is the kind of person I am, right? One might talk about and saying what don't bother with the fox, he never walk no way, and he never this and he never that. But I don't have to walk no way again. I have what you don't have now, right?
All right, well, to make a long story short, are you saying that Farley is weak?
Very weak. Very, very weak. Right? And who want to say...
Are you saying if it is Duke was the Chief Secretary of Tobago, the monies in which it is central government are given to the people of Tobago, that Duke would have been able to get it from them?
But Duke could have get that money already. They couldn't do Tobago what they're doing Tobago right now. Because Tobagonians, we ready to stand up on the street with Farley, you know. But he's not going that direction. I don't know why. You can't just sit down and not get money and the people suffering. Suffering because they won't pay. They can't get a pay. Pay inside and they can't get and people have to eat and drink. We have to eat and drink. It's time enough. It's time enough to come out and show what you could do. Show the Tobagonians your strength. Talking like a peacock and parrot.
Let me ask something again. Do you believe that the UNC, knowing that when I'm in Tobago, people do acknowledge anti-cam Wavigo. Do you believe that the UNC should be putting candidates in Tobago?
Yes. It's Trinidad and Tobago, and if she turns prime minister, she's our prime minister too. So why not put in seats in Tobago? Why not put in 2 seats in Tobago? You will be our prime minister as is Trinidad and Tobago. One are going without the next. We joined together like hog glove mud, right? So put seats in Tobago. I tell you, put seats in Tobago. People want choices. People want choices to vote.
Right, but last question, and then you will have to go because we have to take some other calls.
Yeah.
You say that Duke could have been able to get you, although Farley ain't getting you. Some people saying, yes, he will be able to get you because he's a PNM. What says that?
Well, I don't know. The people who say he's a PNM, they're supposed to know better than me because maybe they know something that I don't know, right? And you see, mouth doesn't say anything, right? Mouth, the hole that God give us in our face, some of us use it in a way that we shouldn't be using it at all, right? And I will leave you with this. When rain fall, it doesn't fall on one man house top. Thank you, Trinidad and Tobago. God bless you all, and the love there from the Silver Fox.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang, bang.
Nice, I have no choice now. I have to go to play some voice notes. It's 10 minutes to. A lot of voice notes would not be able to play until tomorrow, please God. I'm so sorry. A big program is a big program. It is what it is. And oh my God, everything is busy. Oh shucks, I can't play that voice note yet to know hear why. I wanted only to weigh in on something again too, you know. Yeah. And look at going to this year now. How much are you gonna say about Andy? But look, you jump somewhere else. But you believe in it, you're getting distracted. There's a distraction, and there's a distraction. Trinidad and Tobago. So is it that we are saying that when we went to support the Auditor General based on that missing money, and then all of a sudden the PNM launched a beating on the poor Auditor General, and today the law lords had to be saying something different? What are they saying that the PNM government isn't? Tell me. Let's hear what the law lords, the Privy Council, is saying compared to we government, we police service, we DPP, we independent institutions, we law association, and all these various institutions. What a shame. Look at what Trinidad and Tobago have reached. The mighty Trinidad and Tobago has fallen again for a second time under a PNM. From Eric Williams to when he did and O'Halloran and them and taking out all the money, to Robinson had to come in and bring real changes because PNM crashed the country. IMF had to come in. Look what they do again now. And we continue to allow the PNM to destroy us. They destroy the train, they destroy cocoa, they destroy coffee, they destroy the refinery, the oil industry, they destroy bananas. We used to have bananas too. Going out there, real thing. PNM destroy everything. Yeah. So now I ask, when with the advice of the law lords in the England at the Privy Council, when with the advice that they're given happen in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to Coleman Bird?
Sorry, an entirely even-handed terms of reference might have identified the minister's conduct because she says, rightly or wrongly, that she felt she was being bullied and coerced into signing the accounts in circumstances where they that understatement hadn't properly been reconciled. And what's more, the 780,000 that was first identified as part of the understatement was never reconciled.
And the minister is interested to find out.
Why doesn't the term of reference say, just as it identifies the Auditor General, why doesn't it say, please investigate the minister's behaviour?
Well, that's a good point, milady, but it does say, well, it does say to investigate the Auditor General's response to the attempts to bring this to her attention.
That's looking at her conduct. I'm interested to know to what extent the minister's conduct is going to be investigated, because if this was genuinely an even-handed investigation that wasn't designed to deflect the blame away from the minister and onto the Auditor General, it might have been
it would be more even-handed to say, investigate the actions of the minister and investigate the actions of the Auditor General, since they seem to be, in some ways, the main antagonists, if that's the right word, or participants in these series of events. But curiously, the minister is not singled out, but the Auditor General is. It might be said.
The minister has made up his mind, as it were, about the conduct of the Auditor General.
Well, in grounds for bias on page 60 of the electoral paragraph 105, the allegation is that the minister is charged with ministerial responsibility in his ministry. The investigation concerns errors in maladministration on his watch, and he has defended the conduct of himself and his officials, and disingenuously sought to shift the blame to the Auditor General. That would be an improper purpose for an investigation, wouldn't it? If you were targeting an Auditor General in order to shift the blame away from your own conduct. That's part of the bias ground. It's under the heading grounds for bias.
Milady, I'm having great difficulty responding to the board because, as I've been repeating, we answered a case that was put before the court. This is the case. Sorry?
So understand Trinidad and Tobago. Understand the thousands of you that are locked onto the number one program, The Ground Report. And if we have to do it every day, over and over and over, to make sure we get rid of this taxing, lying, thieving government, so be it.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Time check. It's 3 minutes in the hour to 9 o'clock. I didn't get to play those voice notes today. I'm going to play them tomorrow. Yeah. I will. But I'm going to say to each and every one of you, thanks for giving us the opportunity in your homes, on your televisions, on your gadgets, on Guyana, the Caribbean, and in Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks so much for letting us in to your hearts and in your minds. Yours truly, the Pitbull of radio. But don't forget tonight, Corridor Transformation with yours truly, Lennox Smith at 8 o'clock. Not forgetting yours truly, Michael K, the Mickie K with the Observers on Guyana, the Caribbean. On Guyana from 7 p.m. Today, Tuesday, and tomorrow, please, God. I'm Andy Williams, better known as the Pitbull of radio.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang,
And on behalf of the Ground Report team, I want to leave you with a tune. So until tomorrow morning, please, God, we are out of here.
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, buy no shirt and thing. Soon as PNM win, not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. Well, they tax in me out and thing, and me cash up one line and thing.
What a thing, what a thing, what a thing, what a thing. Down in Trinidad, a play gun, shot a fling. Every day them get up is a war, war, war. Where the Ras and Aki really fighting for. Cause the rich still rich and the poor still poor. No matter how we know, and the da. Well the poor can't take it no more. So them nines, them a go drum and fi show. We really don't care about the la. We really don't care about the la. Well me can't buy no books and thing. And me can't buy no food and thing. Not a thing. Man soon as PNM win. Youth want smartphone and thing. But they can't go to school and sing. Not a thing. Man soon as PNM win. What? Tell me what I want. Look me Trinidad, please tell me what I want. Each and every day I do pick me a band. Up on the radio station me I hear about horn. But when I read the news another youth get gone. Another mother cry, another mother mourn. Me a teach the youth from dusk till the dawn. Tell them bad mind can't stop me at all. Yeah, I get no green. Yeah, I get no white. Yeah, on the scene. Let's knock down tight. Can't buy no shoes and thing. Can't buy no school books and thing. Oh, what a thing. Down in Trinidad, what a thing. And me can't buy no house and thing. And me can't buy no food and Trinidad, yeah, gunshot a fling. Yeah, I get no green. Yeah, I get no white. Yeah, on the scene. Let's lock down tight. When me can't buy no books and thing. And me can't buy no food and thing. Not a thing. Yeah, I get no green. Yeah, I get no white. Yeah, on the scene. Let's lock down tight. Yeah, I get no green. Yeah, I get no white. Alone, yeah, on the scene. Let's lock down tight. See, Lennox, move up until sour. Turn. What that's up? Carnage, large. What that's up?
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang.